Hello guys and welcome back to the Football Social. It's the big game today. It's Liverpool versus Arsenal at Anfield and I'm joined by some big guests. It's a big sofa today. We've got David Mailer out there on our left. He knows what it's like to score against Liverpool, don't you, mate? We've got Adam Templeman, got our token Arsenal fan, usually in Social Corner, outside his natural habitat today to watch the game. We've got Emil Heskey and we've got Will Brazier, as per usual, in the corner. And how can the good people at home get involved with the show today, William?
Yes, get your questions in for the panel using the hashtag #TheFootballSocial, @SoccerAM, @FootballDaily, and we'll get the questions in.
OK, thank you very much. Well, let's talk about the results first and foremost, because it's been a tasty day of Premier League football and good for the away sides. Hopefully this is a good omen for you, Temps, as an Arsenal fan, but Chelsea triumphing away just about. Southampton putting that result to one side against Palace as well, prevailing last minute against United. We'll talk about that in a second because we saw the goals in the studio. Leicester beating Sheffield United 2-1 and West Ham, Seb Haller, the new boy, getting on the score sheet. Now this is what it does to the bottom of the table, gentlemen. Gracia's men rooted to the bottom on 0 points. Newcastle joining them on a big fat nil point. And Wolves, who many people, including myself, tipped to potentially break into the top 6, sitting in 18th, making me feel very silly of the season. Let's move on to the top half. Liverpool sitting pretty despite only playing 2 games. Leicester, the biggest beneficiaries today, moving up to 3rd. Goal difference of +1. We expect that to improve as Jamie Vardy gets firing, and he got off the mark today, didn't he? Gentlemen, should we move on to, well, let's talk about Manchester United first and foremost. What's happening there? Daniel James, of course, almost coming good. He looked like he'd rescued them. David, we'll start with you, mate. But Patrick Van Aanholt putting them to the sword at Old Trafford. What do you make of their chances this season under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Because I think a lot of people were thinking that, OK, they've got out the people that don't want to be there. Positive vibe around the place. But now
I like the look of the Man United team. But the only thing you'd probably question is, are there enough leaders or characters or big personalities in there? There are a lot of young, very good players. I think they're exciting. Obviously, they'll be disappointed there, but you look at the performance against Chelsea, they were on the front foot. It'll just be interesting. Obviously, as you said, Solskjaer has been able to get out some of the players that they didn't want and bring in new players. But, it's still early days. It's only, 3 games in, and still a lot of football to be played.
Yeah, for sure. Adam? You must be overjoyed at today's result. Do you think you're going to finish above Manchester United this season?
At the start of the season, I was very confident that we'd finish above Man United. Yeah, we've had a better transfer window as well.
That's bullish, mate.
I think we will finish top 4. If we don't finish top 4 this season, I am going to be seriously worried about the squad.
I actually said I don't think Arsenal will finish top 4.
Yeah, I was sweet about it. Yeah. Actually, while I was doing research for the show.
I don't know why, but I just think Chelsea will finish above you.
Nah, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. I think Lampard is going to really struggle to get this team like moving towards the top 4 until the very latter stages of the season. I think until Christmas it's going to be a tough job.
I mean, hugely reliant on Mason Mount at the moment, aren't they, Chelsea? Yeah. Of course, he got on the score sheet as well today. But what a result for Big Roy at Old Trafford, Emil. How hard is it to get a result there? I mean, it's become a little bit easier. Jose Mourinho had a great record at home, but is this going to put a big dent in Solskjaer's confidence at the start of the season?
Yeah. You know, Old Trafford was always that fortress. David will tell you that you go there and you're kind of thinking, OK, how many is it going to be? That was years ago. They haven't got that fear factor anymore. They're possibly working towards that to get that back, but they haven't got that anymore, and it's been tough for them. They haven't really got that clinical finisher.
I think Rashford or Martial.
They haven't shown that yet.
Possible of filling that mantle, no?
The word is possible. They haven't shown that yet. Yeah. You had Andy Cole, Van Nistelrooy, Rooney. Michael came for a little bit. Michael Owen came for a little bit and scored goals. Van Persie. And now these have the potential to be that, but they're still young lads who haven't really filled their boots yet.
Yeah, I mean, you and David were providing some really good insight off camera when you were saying that when you went to Old Trafford, they had the calibre of player that would let you have time on the ball, and we're looking at you, almost inviting you on to do something.
It was intimidating.
Yeah.
It was intimidating. I think people go there and they're happy to be there. They take it as they're looking at this big stadium and they want to perform. They want to showcase their skills. They want to showcase their ability. And there was teams that you went to. Anfield was one of them. Man United was 100% one of them. And then Chelsea started to creep in there at certain stages. That you went there and you were intimidated by being in that environment. Now everyone's happy to be playing at Old Trafford, and as you see, people are getting results.
Well, talking of being happy, Will, have you been able to contain yourself on a sofa next to a Blues legend?
Oh, it's fantastic to be here with what starts the season, but this is the so far we've had on the football social for me.
Oh, Clinton Morrison will not be happy about that.
I'm sure he'll get over it.
I play with Clinton.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He's a happy bloke.
He manages to shoehorn Birmingham to every show, and he's actually got a natural segue now. So I'm enjoying talking about Birmingham, moving forward. But let's get your gauge on today's results, Will. What do you think to the results that have come in? You got a pick of the bunch?
Well, I've gone for my 3-3, but that's just for because I've done it for so long now. I'll have to stick with it. But I do think it'll be 3-1 Liverpool. I know that's a common theme across the panel.
No, I asked you about the results that have already happened, Will.
Oh, sorry, mate. I'm a bit in cloud nine all over the place.
You've jumped ahead with your predictions.
West Ham.
Yeah.
I'm glad they've done it. And I think Watford are almost going against what they sort of been standing for the last couple of years. Obviously, Javi Garcia starting his second season.
Yeah.
But the chop and change they normally do. I think that's what they might be looking at again.
Okay.
I don't want to see anyone get the sack, but he might get the sack.
Okay, let's move on to the formations then, gentlemen, because they've just come in and it's 2 changes apiece, starting with the home side. Now, it's pretty much business as usual, that back line, Adrian, Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson. A couple of changes in midfield, Henderson, Fabinho and Wijnaldum. Now, Fabinho, for me, has got an awful lot of work to do today to try and contain the ball progression in that Arsenal side, and then the usual suspects who all have pretty good goal-scoring records against Arsenal. I think you've got Firmino, who's got 9 in 8. You've got Salah, who's got, I think it's 5 in 4 or 4 in 5. It might be the other way around, David. I'm unsure at the moment. But what do we make of this Liverpool side? Comfortable enough, strong enough to today, David? What we're saying?
Yeah, 100%. That Liverpool team, obviously the goalkeeper's a big loss in Alisson, but Adrian's come in, he's done well. Obviously the blimp last week, but weirdly enough I think that will help him. It's kind of like, the monkey off the back. It's just kind of getting rid of it. Like you see Klopp's interview after where he spoke, kind of saying, that's Mignolet, Karras, Alisson and now Adrian, who've all made that mistake. Like, forget about it. So I think he will settle in, but it's all about the front three, isn't it? Like Salah, Mane, Firmino. For
like
me,
you say.
I put this on Twitter and I stand by it. I think Firmino is the key to all of them. I think he is the one that leaves the two of them go and play when he drops in. He's
the conductor, isn't he? He's the reserve forward. He's the guy that drops back and he picks those guys out. I left Sadio Mane out there because we've got some stats which we can display on screen now for you guys. So we picked him out as a key player because of, statistics like this. Scored the most Premier League goals in 2019, Emil, on 15. And you know a little bit about scoring against Arsenal, having scored 4 yourself. That one against Leicester in 1998. Cut up.
Last day of the season,
Bottom right.
St Andrews.
Oh,
Yes.
I had it on VHS. Don't you worry about that, man.
You're showing my age, VHS.
That's all right.
People asking, what's that?
I'll transfer it to DVD next time you're on the show, so I don't mug you off. But here is Sadio Mane warming up, and just how good is this guy, and has he been, for the last 6 to 8 months at the very least?
The thing is, he stepped up to come from Southampton, and everyone knows his ability. But to do it, to step into that environment with the pressure that you've got on you, the pressure's there straight away.
Yeah.
And the thing with playing, going from a smaller club to a bigger club, they need you to hit the ground running straight away. They don't want 10 games, and he's done that, and gone from strength to strength. And the thing with these front three, when one's not performing, the others are, and the others will get you goals. And he seems to have stepped into that foray when we say that Salah hasn't produced. But still, he finished top goal scorer. Well, joint top goal scorer with him and
all three
Oba.
playing today, aren't they? Of course. And how much does that lighten the load mentally when if you don't score today, you've got 1, 2 mates that will probably stick it in the back of the net?
It's amazing. It's not just for them. It's for the team as well. To know that there's 3 of them. Then you're not just counting on that one guy there. There's 3 of them that can produce. And it's interesting that David said about Firmino. And that's where it comes down to football brain and understanding your role within that system. He can stay up front and say, well, I'm not going to do this, I'm not doing that because I want to score goals, I want to do this. But now he's thinking about the others, he's thinking about people around him, where they can make runs. How do I drag the defender out? How do I make space for them? How do I make space for myself? He's always thinking.
Yeah, selfless forward. They are very simpatico, aren't they, that front line. Let's hear from their manager right now. We've got Jurgen Klopp's pre-match interview.
Two teams in great form right now. What do you think will decide the outcome on this game? Defence or attack?
Both. If you only defend, I think you don't have a real chance against Arsenal. If you only are focused on attacking, you have for sure no chance. So it must be like always, the balance must be right. The mix must be nearly perfect because if you see now the lineup change a little bit, I'm not sure. Maybe Willock will play on the wing, and then they have still Pepe and Aubameyang with absolute 100% speed, maybe with Willock and Ceballos two in between the lines a little bit more, plus the 2 sixes. So that's a challenge. Yeah? So they will pass, they will play long and behind. All these things will be interesting for sure.
All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
What a dream set of chompers on that. Sculpted from marble. Right, talking of the team, let's look at the Arsenal team, because if one man knows about Aubameyang, it is, of course, Jurgen Klopp, having managed him at Borussia Dortmund. So Bernd Leno, who was outstanding, I thought, when he came in after 7 games, replacing Petr Cech, or Petr Cech even. Made a Niall, Socrates, David Luiz and Monreal make up the back 4. And quite an interesting variation here, Temps. Willock, Xhaka, Guendouzi in at 3, Ceballos sort of floating around in that 3-8 role. A lot of responsibility for him, getting the ball up to Nicolas Pepe and Aubameyang.
Yeah, we can trust him as well. I mean, against Burnley, I mean, it was only against Burnley, but he completely...
Put a bit of respect on Dyche's name, mate, right?
He completely dictated the game. Obviously, it's early days, but even if he doesn't sign for us at the end of the season, which I 100% guarantee he won't, he'll go back to Madrid and he'll kill it there. He has made us realise we really are missing a player like him. We haven't had players like him since Santi Cazorla, I think. So he's drawn a lot of comparisons to Santi Cazorla, hasn't he? Yeah. I think he will be our most important player this season. That's how I see it.
I think you've got one, you know.
Who is it?
What do you make of? Okay, from a fellow professional's standpoint, obviously, Mesut Ozil's absence from the team was a big talking point last year. Didn't necessarily fit into kind of Unai Emery's system, but was very productive when he did play. Still, I think he contributed to around, pretty healthy 6+ goals and assists. What do you make of him, a player like him, being on the bench? Is it sickening to see?
Well, I won't say it's sickening because there's obviously a reasoning why he's on the bench. I don't think anybody will doubt Ozil's ability as a footballer. I'd question his mental, frame of mind. Where's he at? What's he want to do? What does he want to achieve? Obviously, you look at the time he played with Real. When Ronaldo was scoring 40+, 50+, he was getting, 20 assists. Came to Arsenal, he hit the ground running. Obviously, something has slowed up. Obviously, there was a lot of talk about that big contract he signed. If that's a factor, maybe he's down tools. Obviously, unless you're in the changing room with Arsenal, you don't know what's going on. But I don't understand how the manager can't pull him to one side, resolve the issues. Because if you can play him with Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe, and get him firing, then I can guarantee you they will all get more goals.
I mean, that's the thing, trying to get him firing, though, isn't it? Because mentally, people see him, and especially with football fans, you see someone, and you'd have seen it as well, watching someone and the way they run, and you're looking at him thinking they're not trying. He is trying, but you mentally thinking that he's not fighting for it, and then you've got a gripe against him already.
Yeah. I mean, there's been no bedding in period for Dani Ceballos at all, has there?
No.
Coming and taking your position straight away, like you said, there could be a little bit of friction there. Hopefully, it'll be positive. It'll have a positive effect on Ozil.
I don't. Amy will tell you. It's not ever.
If Aloni's taking your place, no sense
never,
of.
Do you know what? You'd be so surprised. No, unless you've had a problem with them in the past in a game you've played against them or what have you.
Okay.
Or you've had a run into them somewhere else. There's not really friction.
It's business, not personal.
I can imagine that, when Danny came, Ozil probably went up, and they probably started chatting about Madrid. Oh, such and such still at the club. Oh, I need to go over and see. I wouldn't say there's friction.
Okay, that's interesting. So players don't take it maybe as personally as we think.
No, a lot of people embrace it and look at it as like,
He's a senior player as well, so he'd probably be looking at him and saying that you could help him.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, hopefully there's that sort of harmony in the camp. It's looking very harmonious in the tunnel right now, isn't it? No one saying a word. Very focused in there. Xhaka leading them out. What do we make of Xhaka being captain? A lot of Arsenal fans in the office think it'll probably be...
Well, I'd ask you the question.
Go on,
ask you the question.
Sorry.
Who would you make captain there?
In that Arsenal team at the moment? Yeah, potentially Socrates. They've brought in a couple of characters in there, in David Luiz.
How long has Xhaka been with Arsenal?
A year and a year plus. What?
2
years. When did he sign for 40 million? Didn't they? I feel like it's 18 months to 2 years.
I'd say he's longer there than 2 years.
I think it's 2 or 3, is it? 2 or 3. Yeah.
No, I'm going to say 3 or 4. I reckon he's probably starting.
So this is Unai Emery's first season. He came in Wenger's penultimate season. So this might be. It's just over 3 years. He's going into essentially his 4th season.
So like I'm saying, he's probably the longest serving player there. Yes, I understand that people are going to say, oh, you look at the previous Arsenal captains they've had over the years. Do you know what I mean? But who there? Like the easy one would you say would be Socrates? Played at Dortmund, whatever.
Yeah.
But
I'd have to agree with you. There isn't many options for a captain.
Who's the true leader in that pack?
So what do we make of the people that have come in then? So a lot of people, touting. Well, David Luiz maybe is an influential person in that area moving forward. Kieran Tierney, of course, coming in from Celtic.
Yeah.
Big KT, I think he's. I mean, he has the characteristics of a future captain. He broke the standing jump record at Arsenal, took it off Aubameyang, and he only had a double hernia surgery about 6 weeks ago. The kid's an absolute animal.
Fair play. The armband then, if he's doing the jump.
Fair play, I think it's it,
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Mate.
So
whack that in your CV, miscellaneous at the bottom, absolutely.
After here, so right, me and Emil head, and if we break the jump record, do we get the armband? Do we get proof?
You have to have a word with Xhaka. Yeah. All right. So what are our predictions then for this game? Starting with you, David, on the end.
4-2 Liverpool.
Oh, big. I'm going to go 3-2 Arsenal. Very optimistic. All the away teams have won today.
I just want to clarify, you know he's wearing an Arsenal.
Omen. Yeah, my
He
opinion
did say Liverpool would win.
Off camera, I did say Liverpool would win. That's a realistic.
And he is. And they won today, so he's already had his, hasn't he? Emil, what are you going for?
Yeah, I'm going for 3-1.
It's on screen now, but yeah?
Yeah, 3-1.
OK, and Will, your rounding proceedings off with 3 or like you normally do?
Yeah. No chance of that happening, but God loves a try.
Odds are displayed on screen. They are accurate at the time of recording and subject to change. Check out the website for the latest deals. You'd have to be 18 plus to partake, William. Talking of websites, hello. It's the first set of price boosts of the day. Sadio Mane to score first, now 5-1, 7-2. Pepe to get his first Premier League goal. 4 brightly when he came on. Reece Nelson didn't the other week. And Van Dijk to score a header. He loves a header, doesn't he? 11-1. Sabas to score from outside the penalty area attempts. Do we see that happening?
No, he'll get an assist, I reckon.
All right, so maybe it's just as well. It's 14-1 now. Yeah. So again, odds accurate at the time of recording and subject to change. Check out the website for further details. And Will, you have to be 18 plus, don't you, mate?
Yeah, when the fun stops, you can stop there, Chris.
Exactly, and that's what we're all about on this show.
I just wanted to get the guys' thoughts.
But just enough.
Pictures of the Anfield faithful belting out. You'll never walk alone. What's that like to walk out?
Oh, amazing. Makes your hairs on your skin just stand up.
Is that for and against? Because obviously we've had it in different capacities.
Yeah. And when we played Celtic in the UEFA Cup as well, that was amazing.
What was the result then, Emil? Just if you don't mind me asking.
We were I think it was 1-1, and then we lost.
Big John Hartson turns up with the absolute screamer.
Yeah, we lost at home, but it is what it is.
David, is that intimidating for you, like going out and seeing a bank?
No, but you see, the thing is, for some people it is. I grew up a Liverpool fan. I'm a Liverpool fan. So I remember, the first time I played Anfield, I was standing, waiting, to kick off, and obviously, You Never Walk Alone is coming to an end, and I was singing it. Jordan Henderson's a really good friend of mine, and he was Gerrard hit him and went, "What's your mate doing?" He said, "Oh, he's a Liverpool fan." I was there just singing, "Oh, God."
Unbelievable.
You get sucked into it, you know what I mean? Yeah. But Emil will tell you, lads who crumble under it. There's always that famous thing at Old Trafford. When you come out of the change rooms, you walk down the tunnel, you see the 3-tier stand. It's the Sir Alex Ferguson stand now. But people crumble when they see the bright lights and they look up and see the size of it and they think wow, you're in Old Trafford now.
Is that the most intimidating ground in the Premier League for you then?
No. I used to Upton Park.
Well, that was close in as well, isn't it?
And Portsmouth. I remember, was it Fratton Park?
Fratton Park, yeah.
Fans could literally lean over and You clip round here, couldn't they? Right, the game has kicked off now. So we'll be following the action, and Liverpool already in Arsenal's final third, but almost bringing it out there. And Liverpool, Jamie Carragher has been observing this on at most given opportunities. He's been talking about how high the defensive line has been this year. Actually, they were kind of moving towards that, towards the end of last season. But they've been caught out a few times at the start of this campaign. And obviously, given the speed that is in this Arsenal front line, do you think they'll be sitting back a little bit, David? Is that something you've noticed as a Liverpool fan?
Like people talk about that, with Liverpool against Norwich, they were very high and whatever. But you've got to think, right, like, they would have had the Champions League final, obviously, finishing, like, on the 1st of June.
Yeah.
A lot of players then going off on internationals. Going off on internationals.
Too early to be doing that.
I think, like Emil will tell you, like, sometimes with footballers, you don't get that long of a break. That, they're probably just,
a little bit rusty, yeah?
I won't say rusty, but, like, they're probably just need the first couple of games to get back into it, kind of.
Okay, the rhythm with one another, that sort of working relationship.
Because, like,
it almost paid off there, didn't they? Robertson smashing a ball across the 6-yard box and Firmino nearly sliding him back.
David Luiz fell asleep there big time.
Is that what happened to him?
Yeah. Not like him to do.
David Luiz.
Yeah, slowly walking towards the ball.
A man of
Slowly walking, and Fabinho waltzing through the midfield there. I tell you what, the Willock and Guendouzi are going to have their work cut out. I mean, Xhaka's chief responsibility is to get the ball into the final third. They'll be the majority defending, I'd imagine.
Yeah, definitely. They're young lads, so they should have the legs for that. Getting in and amongst them and putting the pressure on them. So
it's the senior. It's always the young lads. They've got the legs. You run.
Well, to be fair, Xhaka hasn't got the legs to get over.
It's funny though, isn't it? It's always like the older process. You're younger, run more.
Yeah. Was that you towards the end of your whole career?
I made a career out of running. Yeah.
Right, here we go. Liverpool have a pretty decent free kick opportunity. When the camera pans out, we will kind of pick up what position it's in. It looks quite advantageous. Virgil van Dijk. What were the odds?
We'll score ahead of 14-1, I think.
14-1.
Yeah.
Well remembered Adam Temple.
It was either that or 11-1.
Big high line from Arsenal as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure about Andy Robertson taking this.
No.
Oh, it's not a bad ball. It's nearly fallen to Joel Matip at the back post.
It's awkward, that.
Now, Thames, Arsenal only kept one away clean sheet last year. They've already equalled that record on the opening day of the season by not conceding to Newcastle. Doesn't look like many teams are going to concede to Newcastle, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
What do you make of the sort of new look defence then? Any more confident?
I mean, it isn't really that new at the moment.
You've got Bellerin coming back.
Yeah,
and when they are back, then do you think?
When they are back, it will look better. I'm pretty confident about David Luiz as a signing. A couple of Chelsea fans were telling me that he makes more mistakes than Mustafi and stuff like this, trying to give it.
Taint the move.
Yeah, basically.
Doesn't sound like Chelsea
take
fans.
the move away from us, but I think during big games is when he's actually going to be quite important for us.
Yeah, is that something you agree with, Emil?
Well,
David Luiz,
he's
been the sniff at 8 million at the end of the end of the window.
Look, if you've got him in the right frame of mind, you know you've got a good player. You see some of the balls that he plays, and we're talking about one of the quickest lads up front in the league. So if he's playing the balls that you've seen him accustomed to playing, you're creating a lot of chances.
And here,
I was seeing. I mean, Mo Salah flicking the ball to Jordan Henderson in the box. That's not a move you see an awful lot, is it?
David Luiz keeps a clean sheet against this front three today. Should have a new. Because there's no way.
I mean, I think Arsenal fans, it's a case of Mustafi coming out of the team for David Luiz. They see that as a big bonus, and he was maligned a little bit unfairly at times. But how difficult is it as a professional when fans are on your back to put in a competent performance? Is it weighing on your mind, or you just go out there and do your thing?
The thing is, it's about having a good manager to keep you focused and to keep your head right. Because you haven't got that, and you feel that everything's against you, then you're going to feel the pressure. But the players and the manager trying to keep everything, keep everything. Julio was good at keeping all the pressure onto him rather than onto the players.
Bit of a siege mentality.
Yeah, and it worked for us. Obviously, we went on to win the UEFA Cup, so
That is.
Yeah, so it's about having the right manager who can.
Back across.
Oh,
Bad header.
It's a bad header away. isn't it?
Bad header.
I mean, Arsenal are pretty much camped in their own box,
Yeah,
aren't they,
we
at the
are.
moment? It's been 5 minutes of relentless Liverpool pressure, and Andy Robertson there covering 100 metres in just under 4.5 seconds, I'm hearing from the gallery, so pretty good powers of recovery from him. We're going back to what you were saying. I mean, every player goes for a bad patch.
So, yeah.
Mustafi didn't have the greatest season, but it looks like he's going to be sold. I mean, as a former centre forward yourself, do you look at this Arsenal back four and think there's an opportunity here?
Oh yeah, 100%. You know, getting in and amongst them, and the thing with David Luiz, if you can play,
It's son.
yeah. If you can play, try to slide balls down the side of him, he doesn't really turn great, does he?
Hang on a minute.
He's very good.
Talking of turning great, no. Come on then, Nicholas.
I'm going to say
He's
that's
quality,
the first time. That's the first time they say Van Dijk. It's the first time Van Dijk's been dribbled past.
I was going to say, yeah.
Oh, is he the first person to do it?
Liverpool Twitter and
But
meltdown
what
right
was
now.
it? Is it? There was one. Was it Jesus in the Community Shield, but they didn't declare it as a correct dribble.
Yeah. There was also one where
Yeah.
Andre Gomez against Everton in a Merseyside derby just completely buoyed him shoulder to shoulder, sent him packing, and that wasn't registered as a take on as well.
Did you see Andre Gomez's performance last night?
Well, yeah, it didn't go down all that well, did it? He was the most dribbled past man in Europe, I think, last night.
He attempted 4 tackles and he gave away 4 fouls, I think.
Oh, what a ball!
Hello? Oh, dangerous cross there.
That's big Emil there, 1-0. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You'd love to be part of leading this front three out there, wouldn't you?
The thing is, it's totally different era and totally different times. But them sort of balls, that's what you thrive on, isn't it?
Bread and butter, that.
Just trying to go and attack that one.
I mean, we talk about Bobby Firmino being the linchpin in that forward line and being the creator, but you've got guys who are putting up double digits for assists on both flanks. I mean,
it's crazy. And
what a luxury, eh?
Yeah, and that's your left back and your right back bombing forward and creating the chances that they create. So.
I mean, you've got to have a pretty competent midfield to be able to pull that off.
Joel Matip's literally playing like CDM.
Yeah.
He's got the freedom of Anfield.
What do you make of
It's the only
Fabinho?
problem though that like with this Arsenal front three, they've
Yeah, you
got
could get
pace or
break.
whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? So like,
Do you think Fabinho has been a little bit underrated since he's come in? Of course.
I wouldn't say he's been underrated because the Liverpool fans appreciate him.
Okay.
I think they know how good he is. Like, it was always hard for Jordan because he was never the deep line playmaker or midfielder. He was inevitably put back there. Like, and then obviously they signed Fabinho, so he wanted to go back forward. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, big swing and the miss there from Gini Wijnaldum.
Do you know what I mean? He never wanted to be that player, but then ended up doing well in the role. But that wasn't like why Liverpool signed him. And now, like, obviously they're seeing the benefits of, as you said, Fabinho playing in that position, and then him using his legs and his running ability to get forward.
How good is he in that attacking role? 'Cause obviously you've seen it the most at Sunderland.
I think he's very good.
Game
I don't want to
changed
cane
quite
my
a lot.
own pal, but obviously passing of an Ozil or one of them, but like I said to you, there's not many players do.
No.
Do you know what I mean? That's
A top bracket.
When he first signed for Liverpool, when I played against him, and I played against him at Sunderland, his tempo and his ability to get up and down and drive up and then drive back, I was like, his energy is just a joke.
A very high valuation.
But then they changed the way. It's like he got there and then he changed the way he played.
Yeah, it was more kind of coming to the end of like Stevie's time when Brendan Rodgers was manager, and then it kind of like he started like dropping back. Do you know what I mean? He never really played there, and then you kind of put in that situation. And obviously he's captain. You're playing for Liverpool. You're happy to be playing. You just want to play.
Absolutely sickening ball from
then he
Jordan
does that.
Henderson as we talk about his distribution. He's just sliced a beautiful crossfield pass to Robertson, again bombarding the Arsenal box, and Wijnaldum hits it out.
Do you think as England fans we almost underestimate him because he's a Champions League winner as a Liverpool captain? He guided England to a semi-final. Well, I mean, the route was easier but he just seems to not be the joke, but like I think he's
people are
underestimated.
overly critical of him. I don't think there's anyone who.
Yeah, but it's the modern era or age. Like Emil will play and Emil will appreciate him.
Yeah.
Because Emil's played the game, knows the game. You need players like that.
Yeah.
You can't have 11 flair players.
Yeah.
You need the fellows who are going to work hard and like basically, I made a career out of it, just getting the ball and giving it to someone who's better than you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But you do the stuff that he's not willing to do. Like when you're running 13, 14 kilometres a game, whereas like the other players don't.
David, as a Liverpool fan, then what do you do when Oxlade-Chamberlain comes back? How do you line up that?
Oh, hello. He has to.
Oh, is he dinked him? Oh, Adrian has come out, as he probably should have in that situation, but it's fallen to Aubameyang. He's tried to chip the keeper and he's narrowly missed the left-hand side.
You just know the Spanish ones, senor, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's not confusion by Van Dijk, though.
I mean, 40% of the action up until this point was in the Arsenal box.
What is this?
One catastrophic moment from Adrian, and Arsenal almost find themselves ahead at Anfield.
Lackadaisical.
Let's go back to the question about the midfield then, David. So Oxlade-Chamberlain, do you leave him out of side? Because he looked pretty... He looked like he was flirting with becoming pretty integral.
I'll tell you what, right? The Ox has had a very bad knee injury.
Yeah.
Right? And no doubt he's worked extremely hard with the the Liverpool physios, all them, right, to get to where he is now. But now it's a case of he needs time, games. I'm gonna say it, right, because I've suffered from 2 cruciates. I'd say it's gonna take him 6 months. That's what I would say.
And do you think it's going to take him longer? Because that was quite early in your career.
I'm going to say, but I'm saying where he is now. What I'm saying is where he is now. Like he obviously played the first half in the Super Cup. Do you know what I mean? And then Klopp said that he shouldn't have probably played him or whatever. But it's going to take him. It's going to take him like games of 60 minutes here, half an hour here, a 90-minute here and there. Obviously, with Liverpool being Liverpool, like they want to win, the Premier League, they want to win the Champions League again. It's going to be difficult, but I believe once he builds up his minutes, stays regularly training hard, he'll get back to a level that's, the level he can play at.
Yeah, and within the team, the coaching staff, they understand that. They're not just going to throw you in the deep end and say, go and play. There's 90 minutes, go and play. Back in the day, they would.
Yeah.
But now it's building your minutes up, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you know yourself. You'll go into certain games. You're like, well, I can only play 45 here, and then the next game 60 minutes, and they're just building it up. And then confidently you'll be. Oh, here we go.
Mane running it to the byline there, putting a cross in, but it gets a little loop off a defender, and the keeper collects. Sorry, what were we saying, Emmy?
That's the hard thing. It's because Liverpool fans have seen him out. They know the player he is and the player he can be. It's like. Yeah. Like if we bring the Ox on here now today, we want the Ox that we know, but it's going to just take him a little bit of time.
A bit of patience, a bit of realism.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay.
Because even as I say to you, like when you were speaking about Mustafi, I think people are too quick to jump on the bandwagon and be negative, rather than, do you know what? Imagine if those Arsenal fans had said, do you know what? We're with you. We'll stick with you. We'll support you. Might have changed,
That would definitely give him a
lift.
Yeah,
100%.
Well, one of them close to your heart, and you were getting calls to go down Bodymore Heath to train Wesley on his hold-up play, weren't you? But he's come good after 3 games, hasn't he?
Yeah, look, I think the thing with Wesley, what was it?
Hello. Oh, Nicholas Pepe's turning him on. What's an opportunity? He's been flagged for offside.
Has he?
And it was a good spot by you, David, earlier. I'm getting confirmation that Nicholas Pepe is the first player to dribble past Virgil van Dijk in his last 50+ games.
Oh, 50 plus, I was going to say, I think it was like 53, I think it is.
That's why he paid the big money.
I think it might be 51. We can't get confirmation on that. Yeah, that was... Was that narrowly offside, Adam?
No, it's handball.
Oh, handball.
Smacked his hand. Wouldn't have counted, yeah.
So he was onside.
He was onside.
Arsenal winning their first 2 Premier League games for the first time in 10 years. You must be absolutely buzzing. What, top 3 beckons, Adam, You get ahead of yourself in a minute?
No, you, as an Arsenal fan, you know not to get ahead of yourself. That's silly. That's silly. So I stay off Twitter when we win, I stay off Twitter when we lose.
No, you don't.
I do.
I hope he does it, because that's what he does for Football Daily. So.
Yeah, but personally, I stay off.
Right, Liverpool seeing the majority of the possession still here. And a little bit ominous that Fabinho's just camped about 20 yards outside their box, but
actually we're dealing with this quite well. I mean, we're giving them a lot of the ball, but we're actually.
You're trying to pass it out, aren't you? That's David Luiz who stepped out just there. Again, Doozy stepped out after that.
That Pepe chance, you've had the best chances.
Yeah, I know.
You see, this is typical Liverpool under.
Nice.
Go on, bit of support.
Under Klopp, isn't it? Like rock and roll music, as they call it. They're just guns. This game will level out in about another 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. They'll have to, or they can't go that pace all the way through.
Yeah.
Right, it's just gone out there. Aubameyang taking a little bit of a heavy touch. And Adrian passing it out, just like Alisson. Should we get some fan comments in, William? Because it's almost, got 15 minutes on the clock and we want to hear from them.
Yes, questions rolling in thick and fast. First one's from Alberto74. He says, what do the panel, especially Emil, make of Pukki's start to life in the Premier League? How long can he maintain this form for?
He looks amazing, to be honest with you.
Great,
another goal, but so composed as well, so relaxed when he's on the ball and everything. Watching his runs, he makes some very intelligent runs.
Yeah.
I didn't really know too much about him, to be honest. I had to Google him. And, to be fair, he's been at some good clubs, so I think his football brain is very, 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 very good.
In terms of confidence as a striker, when you get on that form, is that the one?
you don't want to stop, do you? You want to play every game, every minute of every game, because you know you're confident. You're going into every game thinking that you're going to score.
David, seeing someone having someone like that up front, feeding him in with that much confidence, does that make you want to look for him that little bit more? And
yeah, of course. Look, obviously I knew about Pukki last year, being involved with Reading and whatever, and he was top scorer in the championship. So I always felt like if he was given chances, the problem is that once Norwich got promoted, would they get the chances that they were getting in the championship in the Premier League? And they are creating them with their style of football. Even when they played against Liverpool at Anfield, they created a lot. Now, obviously, the own goal early on kind of killed them. But I think Pukki will probably get you 10 to 15 goals because the way Norwich are playing, they're going to continue to create.
Yeah, I
agree. What has he got? 5 and 3 now.
Yeah.
So
he's the only player to score, the first player, to score 4 goals in his first 2 appearances in the Premier League. So what a way to kick off life in the Premier League. Having experience against Norwich, do you think they've got what it takes to stay up this season, David?
Yes.
Is that just because of the positive brand of football? You think outscore teams?
Their foundation has been built over time with their manager. The squad hasn't had drastic changes. They've always kind of kept the same kind of personnel and the people they've brought in. That's why I personally think Sheffield United will actually stay up this year.
I really hope they do as well.
They were really impressive against Crystal Palace.
I think
the defend.
Yeah, but it's also you look at the team they've played. They brought the boy Freeman in from QPR. They brought Callum Robinson in from Preston. But it kind of fits their mould of players. And I know quite a few of them. They have a few Irish lads or whatever playing, but they all seem to get on so well that they'll take and they'll bring that momentum from the Championship to the Premier League. And I look at Aston Villa, Emil's whole club. They've probably gone away from the team that got promoted. Now I understand that you need to progress, stay in the division, but they've signed a lot of different players. And it's whether or not they'll all blend together
and in good time to actually produce results.
Yeah. We had that. I had that my time in Hull when we were relegated. McPhelan was manager, and we had a core of there used to be a famous picture that went around on Twitter of us up in the mountains in Austria. We only had 11 first-team players and 2 goalkeepers. So we didn't really have a squad. We had a lot of under 23 players with us. Then we signed a lot of players that probably didn't fit into what we were about or what we had been for the previous 3 or 4 years.
Okay, so you think the teams that have been a little bit more, not conservative in their approach, but some more joined up thinking there, they've signed the right sort of players, stand a better chance than, Fulham are probably case in point last season, aren't they, than teams that have had a huge squad overhaul. I've been impressed with Villa. It's got to be a little bit fortunate. I think Grealish is definitely a Premier League player, as is John McGinn. What do you make of your former club then in the opening 3 match weeks?
They are finding their foot in the Premier League. I think against the way they played against Spurs, and Wesley's going to be important.
These balls from Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold, one of them's going to pay off very soon, isn't it? Arsenal are letting them cross in very dangerous areas.
So Wesley playing out here. Very, very risky.
Danny Ceballos! What?
Well, that's day one, isn't it? Don't put it back across your box.
Yeah, and I think
that's under 7 stuff.
That is insane, isn't it?
This lad was from Real Madrid.
Is he aiming for?
He's trying to switch it to the right back. That was his idea.
That's awful.
Just not got enough on it.
He's very lucky.
Well collected by Leno.
But yeah, the way that Wesley's going to be very important for them because the way they play is back to front a little bit. Wow.
I mean, back to front, end to end in this game. Every time we look up, I mean, Arsenal have been pretty pragmatic in the opening stages, haven't they? Just going long to Pepe, working those channels, working his pace.
Well, they've got pace. They've got plenty of pace. They've got pace to burn up there, haven't they? So giving it to them and allowing them to do what they do best and try and create something.
You know, if you're an absolute pace merchant, and you definitely were at Leicester, how long before you start to get a little bit rattled at just that long ball in the channel? Are you happy to chase it all down?
The thing was, at Leicester, especially when I was a young lad at Leicester, I was happy. Just give me the ball down that wing and let me create havoc.
Yeah.
And that's probably what they're thinking there as well. But Aubameyang's not young.
No. But he's still got it.
Still got that pace.
Got
him, Vardy. I'm just thinking how are they keeping that pace?
I mean, he's a penalty box specialist, so he probably will appreciate that, or not appreciate that punt as much as maybe Nicolas Pepe. I think he scored. Oh, here we go. Oh, Robertson again.
One of these balls got to pay off, haven't they?
Mo Salah picking up the scraps as well here. Trent.
Do you know what? It's genuinely like a competition between Robertson and like Trent, like who can cross it more.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's what you want, isn't it? Like both of them last year, they're talking about like they're having little like bets between one another who can get more assists, make a little competition.
Yeah, and do little things like that internally drive you on it in games?
Oh,
Are you thinking about that in games?
Of course, like you look at the relationship they have, like after games, they're always hugging and that.
Yeah,
they're
Trent beaten by one assist, didn't they?
Yeah, but they're probably pushing. They're probably pushing each other on to like become better.
And that's the competition you need as well.
Cool.
There's been some sickening switches of play from both Fabinho and Jordan Henderson, it's got to be said. And Liverpool will be...
Where was he going?
Oh, Bobby Firmino selling an Arsenal player there. I think who was that? Socrates? Selling someone for a hot dog anyway. David, this is a pretty impressive opening 22 minutes. We talked about Liverpool, you know, the pace maybe letting up sooner rather than later, but they maintained it for the time being.
Yeah, but like it's all good and well, like firing balls into the box, but they need like to get on the end of them. They need because this Arsenal team is good, like, and like we said a while ago, Aubameyang was joint top scorer last year. He'll score if he gets a chance.
Yeah.
You know,
he definitely would have been on the end of at least one of them crosses.
I had a little look at the numbers. He scored about 15 goals from 43 shots in the box of Aubameyang last campaign. So if he's shooting, there's a 1 in 3 chance it's going in. Fabinho back at it, switching out to Robertson. We got any more questions then to keep ticking over?
Yes,
William?
by the magic of TV. Adam Bookers says on the hashtag Football Social, who is potentially the best signing of the summer? And on the flip side of that, who do we think will be the flop of the season? We're all talking potentially because we're 3 games in.
Right. Okay. Well, I think Adam, you can take care of the flop, so we're not being rude to our guests.
As always.
Emil, you're signing the season, and we'll get David signing of the season as well.
I'm interested in this Pepe.
Yeah.
I'm interested in him because I've just seen little snippets of him, and it's funny because we were speaking off before, and one lad I know said 70 million for someone that he's never heard of before.
Wow.
But to now looking at him, you're saying, okay, well, he's got potential. He's got a lot of potential, and can create, can score. Looks very exciting. So someone like that is interesting, and I'd like to see a little bit more of him. And
yeah, of course.
See how progressive.
Yeah, not just a flash in a pan as well.
No.
Last season, it was the season before. He's putting up very strong numbers in League One. Who's your sign of the season, David?
Mine's a bit more of a controversial answer. I'm not going to say a signing of the season.
Okay.
But like Mason Mount. Ooh. Not the case of like a signing. I know what you're kind of saying, but like, let's be honest. If Chelsea didn't have the transfer ban, they'd have probably gone and signed 3 or 4 or 5 players.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't have been given an opportunity. He would have been shipped out on loan again.
So you're going more for who's going to have the biggest impact?
Yeah, I've kind of gone for that. I know. Like I'm kind of like not answering the question, but I think like I'm thinking like, do
what you want with it.
You played against him.
Yeah.
Would have played against him last year. So what was he like then?
Do you know what? I looked at him and he was a bright talent. We played them opening game of the season. They beat us 2-1 when I was at Reading with Derby. He scored a wonderful goal. But look, he has all the attributes.
Yeah.
But how many players, Emil, if you go through your career that you've seen, like now he's starting to run the main stage for Chelsea. Obviously, we saw all the stuff with Tammy Abraham online.
Yeah.
And then like today he comes out and bangs 2 goals.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's the hero
All power
today.
to him, yeah.
Yeah. Like, there's no doubt that Tammy Abraham will score goals.
Yeah, but I have said I'm pretty bullish on it. I don't think he's going to get between 15 and 20. It's probably going to be around 10 for me, and that would be a great evolution for Tammy. So you do need someone like Mason Mount to chip in.
But that nearly goes back to what Emile was talking about with Man United. You know, the strikers he mentioned of Van Nistelrooy, you know,
Yeah.
all those Sheringham, Solskjaer, they were all getting 20 a season.
Yeah.
And like he brought up, you can't afford not to. You look at Liverpool's front three, like Firmino's probably going to get you 10 to 15, but the other two are going to get you 20 plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how big an impression does Mason Mount have to make for Chelsea to stay in the top 6 then? Let's do Abraham and Mount. I mean, they've got Hudson-Odoi coming back as well, Loftus-Cheek, but of course those players, like you kind of said with Oxlade-Chamberlain, are going to take a little while to get going again. So, I mean, have they got to carry Chelsea in that period?
It would be very difficult. I think they have to share the load because you can't rely on two youngsters.
Young lads,
you know what I
yeah.
mean, who've inevitably made their Chelsea quite recently. You know, it'll be interesting, but I definitely think they're capable of putting in massive performances.
Yeah.
These lads-
Get the vote of confidence. What do you think of Tammy then?
I think these lads are, you know, when you just bed them in, you bleed them in. Tammy played at Swansea, he went to Villa last year, and then before that he was...
No, you're right.
Bristol
It was
City.
Villa, Swansea and Bristol, wasn't it?
Yeah, there you go.
Going backwards.
And he scored goals at that level. Now, everyone knows when you come into the Premier League, it's a step above that. Now, you've still got to bleed them players in. They're still young kids, so you still got to bleed them in and give them the opportunity to play regular. But then you need a senior player. Giroud won't get you the 20 goals that you're asking for, but he'll probably get you to between 10 and 15. Now, he might be able to bleed them in and get 10 and 15 as well.
I suppose there's extra scrutiny on those guys, isn't there? Because they've got to replace the 31 goal contributions that has been
Costa before
left in that Eden Hazard's wake.
You had Drogba, and then you're thinking, where do we go from him? Then Costa comes in and he starts smashing people around, and you love him. And then there's no one who's really stepped into the plate from since then, and it's difficult.
Morata's tried, Higuain's tried, so it's not just Abraham that's not, you know...
and you're talking, the names that you're saying, there's
2 goals today, yeah.
They're senior players that have won medals, and then you're saying that you've got to try and throw these young lads in the deep end and try and make them be whoever they...
There's definitely an unfair expectancy on them, and that's why we kind of, we're trying to temper people's opinions here, I guess, by saying 10 goals for Abraham would be a good return.
But I think why Abraham is lucky is because he's going back into play for Chelsea, who are, do you know what I mean, a top 6 club, who will finish in the top 6. Regardless if it's Frank Lampard, they will still, if they have a bad season, they will probably still finish 6th.
Yeah, Leicester have got to have a great season to finish 6th.
Right, they'll still finish 6th. So, like, he's going to be lucky that they're going to create a lot of chances throughout games. And as you said, like, Abraham has scored goals at the championship level. Like I said about Pukki, if he's given chances, he will score. And he's fortunate he's at Chelsea. He's not, when other lads go on loan from, just for argument's sake, your West Hams, your Newcastles, your Wolves, you might not create as much chances as the top 6 club. Do you mean that you like?
Well, it was like Abraham at Swansea, right? He didn't have the greatest time of it under Paul Clement. I think he started the first few games, then he went quickly off the boil, didn't score an awful lot of goals. Wasn't a great year of progression for him, but here he is scoring 2 goals today for Chelsea. And he goes, and
plus also,
Liverpool almost getting in there.
It's the modern society. It's just everybody's quick to be negative. Everybody's quick to put someone down and say he can't do it. He can't. Do you know what I mean?
What do you make of, so if Frank Lampard gives meaningful minutes to these youngsters, the next great Chelsea side might not be next year or the year after, but there's players there who can create that foundation, isn't there? And Reece James is one of them at right back. I mean, how much you know of him being in a championship?
Yeah, he was at Wigan last year.
Wigan,
I believe he wants to play midfield, but can play. I think he's that good of a footballer and he's that good of an athlete. He can play anywhere.
Okay.
Like obviously, as you said, Loftus-Cheek, like 6'3", built like the fridge.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? He's quick, he's strong, he's powerful, right foot, left foot. Like Mount, like Abraham, like Pulisic is young.
Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah, they've got Fikayo Tomori, centre half.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Christensen, the Danish boy, is young. Like
lots of reasons to be positive, isn't it?
Well done.
What happened there then, Will?
A nutmeg. One of the best nutmegs I've ever seen.
It's nice to see Arsenal down there.
Oh! Oh, Nicholas Pepe, you watched that whole build-up, Will. Take us through that, mate.
Down the left-hand side, Willett, great work. Then they work it across to Pepe, and he brings it onto his left foot. And I thought it was going top bracket,
Yeah, I did
but
as well.
it's not.
That's a lovely.
Inches away from the onion bag there.
Skimmed the paint.
Inches.
Yards. I mean, that's not too far. You were being generous there. Look.
I never got out of my seat.
Hamill, questions are piling in from Social Corner.
Go on then, mate.
If you want to get them in, use the hashtag #TheFootballSocial and we'll get your questions on the screen. Gents, you both played under Steve Bruce. He's now at Newcastle. He's had a mixed start. What was he like to play with, and can he get the ball rolling?
I liked Brucey. When I went to Birmingham, it was tough for me. It was tough for me going from Liverpool to Birmingham.
This is the quality.
Well, yeah. I don't want to be disrespectful.
No, yeah. I know where we stand, mate.
So you go from a club where you just make a run and people have already seen you before you've even made the run, to a club playing with players that, with all due respect, are quite happy to play sideways and backwards. So you're making runs, and no one's even actually looked at you. So that was difficult, and then I had to adapt my game. But we understood where we were. He made us very fit, super fit, and resilient. And it worked for there, and then I had him at Wigan as well. So, and it was the same at Wigan. He brought through a group of players. He went and got Palacios. He went and got Valencia, Figueroa, players like that, and we created something that was really good, and I enjoyed it.
What about your experiences, David?
Well, I played under Steve Bruce for 2 years at Sunderland, 5 seasons a whole. Like, I got really well with him, enjoyed working with him.
Did he bring you in from Cork?
No, Roy Keane did.
Roy Keane.
It was obviously Steve Bruce who gave me like my debut, but
Checking something here.
No.
Checking a
red card?
red card. Oh, it's Salah's bicycle attempt, no?
Oh, what?
Feels like it might be something off ball.
He just jumps up and.
Oh, okay.
He
A
don't
little
have a
stand.
better angle.
Might be much ado about nothing then here. So VR checking.
Too long.
Oh, yeah, I see why.
I think the. Okay.
Okay, nothing.
Slight pause on the picture there for us. Apologies for the lack of detail on the VAR, but it looks like they're going ahead.
Anthony Taylor's on the mic. Hello.
They must be loving that.
Yeah. What's that, Anthony? Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see that? It's actually a red card offence if a player was to go off the pitch, make their way down to Stockdale Park or wherever it is, and walk in the VAR room and have a go at the officials.
Oh yeah.
So
Red card offence.
if you can make your way off the pitch during game time, get to where the VAR officers are, burst in the room and say this is unacceptable, you get a red card.
I mean, that'd be a price Uber, wouldn't it?
I think the game will be over.
And that's a price boost at 15-1 with Sky.
No, I loved working with Steve Bruce. I thought he was an excellent manager. Obviously, there's all this controversy because Newcastle had 2 successful seasons under Rafa Benitez.
It's a fact to follow, isn't it?
Yes, and obviously there's this talk of Rafa Benitez's hands were tied. He wouldn't even spend money. Obviously, the Newcastle fans are unhappy with Mike Ashley. They want him to sell off the club and move on. That's been ongoing for God knows how long.
Almost as long as that.
Oh, no,
almost as long as that VAR incident. Here we go then.
Oh,
go on, Nicholas! Oh!
Too early. Way too early.
What a run from Nicholas Pepe. Temps, what happened?
He just took it way too early. He got gifted the ball in the middle of the park. I don't know who the last man was who he beat, but
Andy Robertson.
He don't get beat for
He just took the shot too early. He just should have kept going.
I felt like it was on his wrong
Straight
foot.
at the keeper.
Well,
as
yeah,
well.
surely he's got to take that was right.
That's when you.
Yeah, but you
see
say
players.
that. You know what I mean? Once he opens the angle up, his left foot, he's thinking, I'll just roll it around him.
Yeah.
Henri.
Adriano. No, look at that.
See, look, he knows he has them, so he starts to shape it.
It's right in the middle of those.
Do I think it is?
Didn't even catch
He
it.
catches Robertson on the corner of his eye, where he's thinking, I'll just curl it round him, and then Robertson's going to
panicked a
block it,
little bit.
and it's like, it's not, you don't commit to it.
No.
So Arsenal remaining very sort of deadly here on the counter-attack, aren't they, using that pace well. But all these wide balls from Liverpool look like they might pay off at some point. Arsenal determined to play it out from the back.
They've had the better
I'm
chances,
determined
though,
to
haven't
get
they?
some more questions from you, William. What are we saying?
We've got loads, slightly serious one. We'll get it in now. Obviously, David, you played at Coventry, Emil at Bolton. Not the best of times for both clubs at the moment. We've got the stuff going on at Bury. Does that sort? I mean, obviously Bury's more prevalent because it obviously affects the players with the wages.
Am I right in saying the club has been sold?
So they've got an extension until Tuesday, yeah.
Tuesday
But the new,
Because I saw that this morning that they said that he's asked something with the FA
Yeah.
because he has agreed to sell it? Or
He's had
Basically,
an offer,
the
hasn't he?
EFL need to approve it, basically.
Okay,
and they've got to approve
okay.
funds. But obviously, when you're going through those sort of struggles, how does that filter down to the players?
Well, it's tough. Even when you look at Macclesfield as well, with what's sold in, and
miracles, wasn't it?
you know, players not being paid and they've still got to turn up for training, and you got to remember that some of these got mortgages, and I was listening to one lad who said he's got his wife's pregnant, he's got a mortgage, and that sort of stuff isn't good.
Well, the Bolton situation.
Yeah, when I was at Bolton.
That must be closer to you. So.
Yeah, I was at Bolton, and we had this pretty much the same, not as bad as it is now, but pretty much the same. And how, the funny thing for me is, how does it get to that level, to that part where you go 3-4 months without getting paid? You don't know whether certain games are going to get played, and it's tough for the fans. And the good thing about Bolton, the fans were still turning up.
Yeah.
You know, we were still getting 15,000 fans turning up. So there is some sort of revenue still there.
Yeah.
People are still going to the club shop and buying stuff.
Sure, they deserve better than the financial mismanagement that's happened at
100%.
Bolton.
David, you're at Coventry now, playing at St Andrews now.
Yeah, obviously, I don't know what goes on in the boardrooms. Obviously,
Well, why not, David? You've got to do some sparring for us, mate.
But obviously, there was something happened with the ownership of the stadium and the council and what have you, and they couldn't come to an agreement. Lucky enough, in the time I was there and the people I know at Coventry, there was never been a problem with the wages and what have you.
Yeah.
Lads have always been paid, and everything like that has always been fine. But it is a shame for, Bury. Do you know what I mean? You just wonder, could the big clubs in Manchester?
That's exactly what I
Chipping,
think. But
could football come together?
I don't think you're allowed to.
I don't know.
I don't think.
I think with
yeah,
the Bury one as well, if they started chipping in with to help them now, I don't even know if it would solve the problem further down the line, I think.
But I think I actually overheard someone on my train journey down today that they said this has been ongoing for 10 years or 15 years with Bury.
It's tough,
always
isn't it?
been one thing, and then they kind of resolve it, and it's another thing. It's like, no, they'll resolve this situation, but in 3 or 4 years' time,
something could
I mean, it's despite getting promoted as well, moving up a league, that obviously didn't help them out financially, but it's tough when you see, videos of 70-year-old fans going into the club shop and asking if there's still going to be a club on a day-to-day basis because they don't use technology.
The lady who handcuffed herself.
Yeah, and then, someone like Alexis Sanchez, not demonising him here, but he's getting 500 grand to sit on the bench. I think that's kind of where you're coming from with, can the rest of football help them out in that situation?
I never brought up Alexis Sanchez.
Specifically,
why is Alexis Sanchez
mouthing that all?
I just mean, it's a shame because, Bury, they're a football club, you know what I mean? They've got a lot of supporters in and around the area who, for the Newcastle fans who are asking about Newcastle and Steve Bruce and what have you, I played up in the northeast. Those people love football and they die for it. There's nothing better. I think it's, the worst thing is, Sunderland being in League One and Newcastle being in the Premier League, it's such a shame for both because, whether it be they're both in League One, both in Championship, both in the Premier League, it is huge, that game.
Mm-hmm.
That rivalry is unbelievable. And it's all people, it makes or breaks the people in the North East weekends if their team. I know Sunderland were playing Wimbledon today, they were 1-1 at one stage, I don't know how it finished up, but there'll be Sunderland fans who that will make their week. Do you know what I mean? If they feel that the team are doing really well.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. And let's bring it back to the game then, because Alexander-Arnold taking a throw in here deep into Arsenal's half. And Mo Salah rasping drive there with his left foot, just missing the post. And it's been like the Alamo attempts in the Arsenal 12-yard box. What's going on? 'Cause it's just block after block.
Yeah, they're spraying the ball in the box a lot. But to be honest, we're dealing with it quite well still. I'm surprised. If we get to half-time 0-0, I'm actually quite surprised.
Sounds like the coach, half-time, a comfortable lad. Full-backs tucked in.
We've got the option on Football Manager, I am content with this, boys.
That's half the problem. No, it is. Come on, Bobby.
Yeah, but look at our defence compared to their attack.
This is a much more stable performance than you were putting in last campaign away from home. You conceded 51 goals in total, which is like a Premier League high. Premier League high for Arsenal. Premier League
big
high.
Verge.
Yeah, and
35 away from home. You must be pleased with it.
Yeah, the only thing is we haven't put away 2 really, really good chances that we had. Aubameyang with the open goal and then Pepe one-on-one. Could be a completely different game, couldn't it? They're in.
I mean, what are we saying? Do you think on the balance of the clear-cut chances,
Clear-cut.
It's been even. We're not talking possession.
I think so with the clear-cut chances. But Liverpool just got to be careful.
Oh, Matip! There we go! Joe Matip with the goal.
Game over.
I mean, that's...
I was just going to say when you were speaking about it there, it's literally the way this game is unfolding in the first half. If Arsenal had scored one of those chances, Liverpool then start to push on more and more.
Open up a little
Liverpool
bit.
inevitably are a team that will blow you away in 60 minutes. If you watch them, it's all guns blazing, and then they like enjoy it.
Yeah.
What about this delivery though, David?
Oh, Trent, I've got him in my fantasy team.
It's a double whammy.
I just wish it was
David
Big Virg. Virgil, stop complaining and head it.
Van Dijk, ecstatic that Matip scored. I don't know if you know, it's gone in when he's turned around. He's got, who's that, Socrates, as usual, got a fistful of shirt, but Matip...
The thing is, I think with Liverpool, with that much possession and dominating like they have, it's important that you get a goal.
Yeah.
And because, as you've seen, Arsenal will create.
Yeah.
They will create, and they will create another chance. It's whether they take that chance, and Liverpool will possibly have to score more goals. Definitely have to score more goals because they will create more chances.
This is where I think historically we've seen Arsenal sort of crumble now, isn't it?
Yep.
They've had a bright start to the game. Now they've conceded. Have they got that steel about them to keep creating the chances that they have done?
Bit harsh to say they crumble.
No, they will crumble. There'll be 3 or 4 now. We all know it. We're just not saying it. Let's be honest.
4-0.
Well, let's hope we see some more goals because, I mean, we all went for very healthy predictions, didn't we? Particularly you, William, on 3-0.
Well, yeah, you know, I saw Van Dijk rising there. I mean, I'd like to take back and check VAR, maybe disallow the goal and get a little...
Arsenal fans said in the comments, then, the comment section's popping off. Of course, get your comments too.
See, that's
And the best ones will be put on screen.
That's that.
What did I miss there, David?
Oh, it's just poetry. Just comes in, little step over, look at the eyes, reverse pass, and Salah's nearly in on goal.
Lovely.
But that's the thing, he just wants to create for the others.
That's what I like about having the Irish guests on, the lyricism. We've got the poetry, you know, Firmino's in full flight here. Liverpool, if they get, I mean, the next 2 minutes, like you said, were very important for Arsenal just to make it to half-time now. 1-0, kind of regroup, but...
Thank you very much!
He's out there, just pulling the strings, the conductor. As a polite way to put it for social media, he's extracting the urine.
Bobby Firmino there, angelic
really
touch around the Arsenal player, almost got in. Bern Leno doing well to sniff out again.
What is that?
He's an extremely quick guy, Bern Leno, and we saw it there. But Arsenal still determined to play out from the back. Let's get a couple more questions before half-time.
Question is, what's Bernd Leno's standing jump though, Chris? Because as we know, that's the...
It's not how he's KT.
No, that's the main one.
We don't even need to discuss that, do we?
One from Santha, he says, more on Arsenal here, saying, how come they're not starting Laka and Lucas there on the bench temps? What did you make of that when you saw the starting team?
Did he not ring you this morning? Did he?
Yeah.
Give you the inside information?
Exactly.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Now, this is against a big team. I'm not surprised to put Lacazette on the bench just because we can't throw all-out attack against
But he is a very defensive-minded forward, isn't he? As far as defensively-minded forwards go, he's a bit like Firmino.
Question for you: who would you say is a better finisher, Lacazette or Aubameyang?
Hello. James Norwood.
Going through, game is 1-1. You want to pick one of them going through 1-on-1.
Excellent question.
I'd be confident with Aubameyang 1-on-1 every time. Yeah.
Mortgage.
I think if in the penalty area you go for Aubameyang,
Yeah,
don't you?
100%.
Lacazette's a bit more of an unorthodox finisher, I reckon.
I don't know. I just think
Edge of the box, maybe.
I feel Lacazette has that poacher's.
Lacazette, Lacazette's
like his goal last week, into him with a little turn and the bang.
He had no right to score that.
Yeah.
Emil, you're the man most qualified to answer this. What are you saying? Give me a definitive answer.
I would say Lacazette. I would say
nice.
when you're looking, look the holding of the shirt.
Yeah, that should be
The studio split, so you're going
I'm going Lacazette.
Let's throw it out to the guys at home as well. Let us know who you prefer in a one-on-one situation. Great question there from Myla in the comments below. But it's a good job that Matip wrapped away that header because probably would have been a penalty otherwise.
Yeah,
if VAR goes to that.
Definitely holding of the shirts.
Wait, what's the holding of the shirts like in the Championship? Because I bet it's brutal.
But it's not just the Championship, it's everywhere.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And now obviously...
Frustrating, or were you doing it yourself?
No, but everyone's doing it.
No.
Everyone's at it.
It's really frustrating to watch as a fan because there's no real consistency. The other week when you see Rodri go down at the near post in the Manchester City game, I don't know, bemused why that's not been brought back and made a penalty.
Yeah,
but the VAR's going to help kind of.
Some of it is like, did Rodri initiate it? Is he looking for it? Like, you know, it's so difficult. Like,
David, you strike me as a holder in the area, mate. Bit of shirt. What we saying?
No, I'm more of
I'd have left. Definitely.
I'm more of a slap and tap, like, do you know what I mean? Knock you off or something. Like little, like, you know, stand on your. Oh, sorry, pal, sorry. Stand on your boot. Do you know what I mean? A little pinch under the elbow, like that. Like,
a little bit of gamesmanship. No one was doing that to Sadio Mane there. Free header.
Just a little.
Yeah. Put him off.
Yeah, because like. You think Emil's looking at to fly the ball, he's thinking like I need to get a run, and then you just like walk into him, you stand on his toe and you're like, sorry mate, sorry. Didn't even see you there. Do you know what I mean?
What's a little bit of charm afterwards, remaining playing.
Didn't even, yeah.
Who was the worst for you? Who was it when you were in the penalty box, you knew you were just getting some rough treatment? You give it back, wouldn't you? You just look them in the eyes.
There's no one in particular, but it happens all the time. You know, someone grabbing you, because you always want to get the run on someone. So they're looking at you to make sure you're not getting the run on them, and it's going to happen that you're going to be close to someone and possibly.
Go on, Gigi.
More intricate play there from Liverpool at the edge of the box. Van Adam almost.
Oh
no! Scooped that over.
He put that was.
We got an oh no there from David Mailer. Firmino is literally. He's toying with the Arsenal defence, isn't it?
PlayStation, isn't he?
He looks bang at it today, the Brazilian.
I know somebody's probably saying I'm there sitting there holding the controller.
Yeah, well, I mean, you would know all about that, David. The old YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's not uploaded in a little while. Tell the fans why that's happening. Why you're slacking.
Lazy. Lazy.
No real reason in particular. So going back to the question, Emil, like one defender that you just hated playing against.
There wasn't one in particular defender that I hated playing against. Sol Campbell was tough. Arsenal in general, back then.
Bit of a different proposition now.
Back then. Martin Keown was horrible. I remember standing there and looking at the ball being played over on the left-hand side, and we're both looking there, and then next minute he's just gone smack face. I swear.
Yeah. What do you do in this situation?
What can you do?
On the receiving end, you just like cheers. Like,
what can you do?
Ride that out.
There's nothing you can do.
Now you can just go. Have a look at that. Get him off.
You can't. You're not allowed. Check the rules. You're not allowed to make the telly.
Yeah, you're not.
It's a yellow card.
So you're going to ref.
You've embarrassed yourself there, mate. Have we got any questions then? At half time now, let's get some questions in for David and Emil. I'm sure there's been plenty already, mate. But we got any juicy ones?
Yes, the first one is from Man City Ryan 1. It's for Emil Heskey, and he says, what has been your favourite footballing moment in your gargantuan career? And that's a great use of the word gargantuan.
Underused, that word.
Yeah.
What does gargantuan mean?
It's a great question, David. I think it means
it's big.
Prolific and long. Is that right, Chris? Chris is a man of the thesaurus.
Thank you, mate. Mr. Synonyms, yeah, it just means big, doesn't it? So let's get on with the question. I feel like we're probably deviated there.
Yeah, I think obviously the England game against Germany. It's the one that everyone remembers.
It's that for me, Emil. I was doing that in the playground for about 10 years. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so I think it's that one. Everyone remembers me for that one. It's the one that I get stopped in the street for wherever you are.
You know, when you were writing the book, and you can have that plug for free. When you were writing the book, did you rediscover anything that you'd forgotten? You were like, what a pearl that is.
No.
I
remember most of them. So yeah. It's just certain moments that you forget. I think Steve Sidwell brought up one in a recent interview, and I actually forgot about that one.
Which one was it?
It was just an argument with of Aston Villa, Martin O'Neill.
You had an argument with him? I was imagining you being like Bez's. Villa, Leicester.
Yeah, no, it was fine. It was an argument that was probably normal. Yeah. But not normal for me.
Okay, but out of character. Okay, well, obviously, if you want to hear about that, then go check out Steve Sidwell's absolute mic drop. We got any more questions then?
Well, same for David as well. What's been your favourite?
Go on, go for it.
And I'll use gargantuan there as well.
I suppose playing for my country. Like I've played for Ireland 26 times. I've captained Ireland. Do you know what I mean? In World Cup qualifiers and whatever. And it's just, knowing that your family are there. obviously, like my little girl was watching, stuff like that. It's just nothing. Stuff like that like means the world to you. It's incredible.
What was your standout moment for Hull in the Premier League?
Well, somebody's probably saying Alan Pardew headbutting me.
What, the celebration after? Or was that 4 games later? Corner
I'm
flag?
really glad
Game
you said
after,
that.
we played Sunderland in the FA Cup quarter-final, and I scored. And I remember all the lads were like running, and obviously I played for Sunderland. You know, they'd help me when I had my 2 cruciates, and they were very good to me. And you know, I have a lot of time and respect for the club and whatever. And people were like, I can't believe you celebrated. But it was more kind of like I wanted to headbutt the corner flag to kind of say, well, he headbutted me, I'll headbutt the corner flag to show like I was going to headbutt him back.
So you planned it, didn't just happen spontaneously? The celebration?
It just kind of happened, yeah. You didn't know what to do. But to answer your question, probably we played Liverpool. We'd been at our Christmas party the week before. We had played on a Saturday, we'd drawn or something. We went to Dublin. So we went out Saturday night, we went out all day Sunday. So we were sitting in a Temple Bar in Dublin, and we were like, geez, lads, we've got Liverpool next weekend. We ended up beating Liverpool 3-1. I scored. And I'll never forget it, like we came back into the change room and Steve Bruce was like, whoa, like and somebody just shouted, straight back to Dublin, lads. And he went, no, he said 2 days. Come on, 2 days.
There's a particular manager that would allow that as well.
Yeah. We won't say names.
I think we might have already had that revelation on this show, to be perfectly honest. Gabby Abalonga still on leave, isn't he? William, back to the questions then.
Questions for both of you guys now. Which current Premier League player is most similar to you in your playing style or attitude?
Great question.
Difficult to say with mine. I'm quite different to a lot. Especially when I was playing at Leicester. I played anywhere, didn't I? I think at Leicester I played left back, left wing, right wing, and centre forward and centre mid. So just out there performing, just want to go out and play. Didn't really care where I play, especially when I was younger. Just put me on the pitch. But then obviously want to cement a particular position down. But I was just happy to be out there. So there's not really anyone I could say.
You dropped down to the Championship of Leicester, didn't you, or what was known as
League One.
League One back then. So there's a certain parallels kind of with Tammy Abraham in that he's done really well at that level. He's come back up, and there's an expectancy to do it for a bigger club now, in the same sense that you went to Liverpool for a record fee at the time. So do you kind of empathise with what he's going through now?
But then I played with Leicester in the Premier League for 4 years.
And Leicester were brilliant in their debut season back up, weren't they?
Yeah, you know, won the. We were supposed to get relegated, weren't we?
Yeah.
But won the League Cup. Went to 3 League Cup finals in 4 years.
Filbert Street was rocking back then, William. What about yourself, David?
Oh,
what's that little wry smile for?
I just trying to compare myself to someone. David Silva. Pogba.
The Irish David Silva.
No, do you know what? I actually really like the look of McTominay. Type of player, like that kind of mould of like. McTominay's the type of player, if you don't really, I'm not going to say understand football, but appreciate and watch everything that's going on. Like McTominay's there to do the groundwork for everyone else. Do you know what I mean? That goes unnoticed.
Does it go back to what you were saying earlier about Henderson?
Yeah, and like that's the thing for him. Like he probably won't get the recognition because there's so many like other lads like hitting the heights they're hitting. I was always just happy to go perform and see others flourish. I didn't like it. Like it didn't really bother me if, do you know what I mean? If I wasn't noticed or like, you know, whatever.
Like an enabler.
But I kind of felt like like McTominay's kind of like that at the moment. No, I'm not saying I'm better than McTominay or anything before anyone suggests that, but like his thing, he does the hard work for the others to succeed. And he strikes me as a really good kid. I've met him a couple of times. He's quite a big FIFA player. That's why I met him. But he has all the right like elements to go on and be, you know, a top player for Man United.
Is there an element of, I mean, United fans sort of got on his back originally because he was perceived to be quite limited, but now I think he's gradually winning them over. And there's an element of sort of like I suppose Darren Fletcher and Michael Carrick. He's drawn parallels with them, but do you think he can go on to reach that sort of level? Maybe the comparisons with Darren Fletcher are a little bit more accurate.
I think it's very hard to compare him to Carrick.
Yeah, because he's
the type of player he is. Yeah, but he controls the tempo of a game, which is very rare to find a player of that ability. You inevitably feel sorry for McTominay in a way because Man United have been spoiled. Man United fans, have been spoiled for
sure.
the last 20 years of some of the best players to ever play in English football. And now you have this young, hungry side, and you look at like Pogba, he now is the main man kind of in the team of like the senior figure that me and Emmy were talking about a while ago. It's just like, can he probably needs guiding or an arm around him at times. Like people compare him to the times he played at Juventus. But if you look at the team he played with Juventus with like Chiellini, Bonucci, Barzagli.
Pirlo, Vidal in that midfield.
Yes, but you also have Matuidi, Marchisio. You have like Buffon in the goal. You have Evra. You've all big characters who've won titles wherever they've played. Do you know what I mean? Even every player I've listed there have probably captained their country at some stage. So Pogba is probably inevitably trying to reach that level of the same respect. But at Man United, he's already there where the others are trying to catch up with him. So he probably needs 2, 3, 4 more big players to help him. Like you look at Liverpool and we speak about Van Dijk coming in, like someone that's like you look how calm, his presence, everything about him. That's why Liverpool, as a team are probably flourishing.
Do you think that's why Pogba, the rumours remain that he wants to go to Real Madrid because he feels like the burden is too great, and it's kind of not ruining people's perception of him, but his stats last season were obviously frightening. Most passes in the final third. You had tackles, interceptions.
Yeah, but you talk about stats. Most balls into the final third. I can go get the ball off a centre half or right back, and I can just fire it up to Emmy and say, get hold of it.
To be fair, I think they had to find their man. It had to be.
Yeah, but like if I'm playing a half decent ball into Emile, I'll expect him to get hold of it, lay it off, or what have you. But like I looked at James Maddison last year, he had the most chances created.
Yeah.
Then I'd ask you, how many assists does he have? Like stats can inevitably, I won't say paint a false picture. Like I played in 2014, the 13-14 season at Hull. Curtis Davis was centre half. I imagine you played with him at Villa. Curtis had the most blocks, clearances, interceptions, tackles, and headers in Europe. As a centre half. But I was like, yeah, that's because we were playing in the Premier League. We were Hull. We were camped on the edge of our box.
It's important to contextualise them, right?
Yeah. So like stats inevitably can be
but the picture
a little bit misleading.
Yeah. But the picture it painted last season was that he was doing everything for Manchester United. And like we just kind of touched upon, McTominay, very good player, but is he going to alleviate that burden from Paul Pogba? Maybe not. So you think Man United, are you saying that they can't progress as a club until they bring in 2 or 3 more players?
He will alleviate to a point because everyone has their role. It's like a cog in a wheel. Everyone has their role, and then you add certain bits that make it.
Okay.
But at this moment in time, everyone's looking at Pogba as a whipping boy. Oh, he needs to do this. He needs to do that. He needs to. When you look at him at France, and everyone keeps saying about France, he's this leader at France, and he does this. But who's he got around him? All these players around him that allows him to be this leader and allows him to do his job, whereas he's trying to do something else there because he can't. That person's not doing it, and then he's got to do this because he hasn't got that person to do that.
For sure.
So inevitably, it's just building the right structure around him. Then you get the best out of him. He named all the players at the Juve side that he played with. They allowed him to go and flourish. Then you get in the goals. Some of the goals that he was scoring at Juve, Jesus.
Yeah, but it was probably just a case of. For Juve, he just turned up and played. He never thought too much about it.
He never had to think about it.
Yeah, and now it's become a little bit probably, and as you said, everybody is scrutinising him.
Yeah.
Everything. Like we even joked off air earlier when Rashford missed the penalty when we were like, oh well, they're hammering Pogba last week. Now Pogba should probably be back on penalties, or we don't need Pogba back on him. He'd probably miss it. But it's tough.
We're talking of people who can take penalties. We do have a clip with Harry Kane lined up. We've got a little exclusive here. Check this out, guys.
I thought you were going to rope up one of my penalties.
What makes a goal scorer?
Oh, good question. I think hard work first and foremost. Just having that feeling of being in the right place at the right time. A lot of people talk about that. You can be taught to an extent, but yeah, I think it's something that's just natural that you kind of do.
Certain people just work on it, and you're one of those, and it's got you to a high level. When did you really start working on it?
I'd come to Spurs when I was about 11 years old, and it was an okay couple of years, and then I kind of had a growth spurt and started to develop into a bit taller, a bit physically better, and I've always enjoyed it. I always wanted to do more finishing. I love training anyway, but the finishing is what I enjoy most. So it's like, okay, can I do more, whether I was on my own or with managers, trainers, players? It was just a time I just felt free and I could enjoy it.
No, look, you've just trained and you can't kick a ball, but should we go and have a little look at where you honed your craft?
Yeah, let's do it.
What do you do to get yourself right for the following game against Newcastle?
After the City game, we had 2 days off, so Sunday I like to just kind of shut down and just do nothing, just let the body recover. At home, I'll go in the pool and I have like an infrared sauna. It's just to help recover, help blood flow.
Infrared.
That's what they say is supposed to be better for you. So I've got that at home, which is great, because then I don't have to leave the house, so I can still be with the family and enjoy it and spend a couple of hours at home just doing recovery. And then Monday is kind of a free day. I like my golf, so I went golf this Monday, for example, and then kind of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are tough training days.
So talk us through one drill.
So you might just set like a mannequin on the edge here, and the server could be around the edge of the D there, and a lot of the stuff we work on is movement as well. So say you're the mannequin here.
Yeah, I can do that. Don't ask me to do any more.
It's like a lot of it's facing the ball, so the best way of getting a quick angle. So if he's passing here, instead of me like setting it off to him and turning like this, where your back's to it and you don't know, it's always about kind of moving your feet so you touch, and like the quick step. So you're always kind of good movement. So we do movements like that. Or like the one against Villa where you'd be there and I'd start here and he would say, blow his whistle or go, and I got a kind of quick step and he would fizz it in any height and it's kind of a touch across, so it's like you're the defender and I can just
so getting in front of your defender.
Across,
yeah.
And then rather bend it or whip it back across. So all things like that, and like I touched on, it's all little movements that we try and work on.
Look at that timing, the gentlemen just about getting back in their seats.
We've been nowhere, Chris.
Yeah.
Well, no, they get 15 minutes at half time. I think we get 30 seconds for a toilet break.
We'll maintain the illusion, yeah. And the players, well, they're back out on the pitch now. Looks like we're going to kick off pretty imminently. We've got any more questions?
Yeah, one final one, Chris, I wanted to get in from K-Man. He said, did you two ever become close to becoming teammates? I know Steve Bruce has been a constant, obviously.
Well, unless Steve Bruce tried to take you to Hull.
Did he, Emil? No?
I'll give you a good story, though. I'll give you a good story rather than, because the answer is not long, but I played against Emil when he was at Villa, and I'll never forget, it was just by the dugouts, and Aston Villa's throw in, and he was throwing up the wing. I think it might have been Luke Young at the time. He was throwing up the wing. I remember Brucey was like, Myler, get in front of Heskey. So I've gone over to get in front of him, but Emil's left arm has come out, and he's put it like in front of my chest. And Bruce said, Myler, get in front of him. He said, stop him flicking it on. And I remember I went to move, and the left arm was there, and Emil just looked at Brucey and said, really? He went, Myler, just go for the next one.
To be fair, when the left arm come out,
was that when
there wasn't many getting around that.
I think it was just Christian as well. It was like right in front of like Steve Bruce, and obviously Emil had played for him, you know what I mean, whatever. It was just like a bit of laughing and joke. I was at that moment I realised, geez, do I need to get in the gym?
Who's the most annoying manager on the sideline, in terms of the opposition? Someone that just, when you're on that flank, you can just hear them, go and go and go. Or what was the one?
Oh, what a header!
There wasn't particularly one who annoyed me, to be honest with you.
Because you look at Pep and Klopp, obviously very animated, aren't they?
You get some managers, some managers that are obviously your manager that do your head in because they're just constantly. And I've watched managers do it at times, and I don't think
most vocal manager then.
I don't think let me finish this. I don't think they particularly mean it, but they actually put certain players off their game because they're there constantly. They're actually playing the game for them. Especially like left backs and wingers and stuff like. No, play it there. No, play it there. And like, let him decide himself a little bit as well. So, I won't give any names.
Oh, save that for the book.
Yeah.
Oh, the shirt tag, yeah, that didn't look good.
Give it in!
Penalty!
Hey!
Oh, Adam Templeman, what's happened there with the Arsenal defence, mate?
Salah right back for it, really. Monreal's going to get booked. Oh no, it's David Luiz.
Of course,
Big
no.
Dave.
Big David, it's David, isn't
It's
it?
not like David Luiz to fall asleep at the back, is it?
Why is he doing that? It's so
Salah's
obvious.
rode it out, to be fair. He's normally taken a...
That's so,
you know what?
that's so bad.
If you go back, that probably wouldn't have been given.
No, it
It would
wouldn't
have
be
been
good.
noticed.
No,
So
no,
you've
no,
been
no.
kind of like, the ref might have a look to you after and kind of gone,
Yeah. I think more and more of this is going to be given, and there's going to be other stuff that you're going to be.
I took Salah out of my fantasy team.
Despite his goal scoring record against Liverpool, criminal. All right, David Luiz
Against
has
Liverpool?
been against Arsenal.
He could miss and that would be negative points, David. So
David-
we could turn this positive,
There we
negative
go.
into a positive.
Love
No,
it.
but I can't. No, I want Liverpool to win.
Yeah, there we go.
So I want Liverpool to win. So Salah score, please.
So the man we talked about, like shoring up that
Or it's
Arsenal
no,
defence.
miss, and somebody else kicking the rebound.
Yeah, there we go.
Right, gentlemen, is he wrapping us away? Would you
Yes.
prefer not to say a bit of a hoodoo?
Yes,
Yeah,
bottom right.
very, very
Yeah,
confident.
he's putting this in there.
Bottom right.
He's a bit nervous.
Right, let's
Oh, come on,
build a little
Egyptian
bit of
king.
tension.
Come on,
Bottom right.
come on, boys. Come on, Leno. Come on.
I don't think he would have saved that even if he went the right way, to be fair.
The Egyptian king.
So he's gone top left. Bernardo did not stand the chance there. 2-0. I think the floodgate's going to open. Will, what they're saying in the comments?
Well, Arsenal fans still bemused by the tactical substitutions that were made at the start. Obviously, a different team, but I think they were more coming to the fore now. But what do Arsenal do from here? What sort of changes do we make? There's a good bench, Temps.
I think Lacazette's going to come on soon, isn't he? Can almost see that happen, just going all out attack.
Liverpool did look shaky at the back.
Do you know what? Don't go all out attack. It's 2-0. It's just like 48 minutes gone. Stay in the game.
Get one before 80.
Do you know what I mean? Stay. Obviously, they need at least 2 goals, but stay in the game. If you go all out against these front three, they'll pull you apart.
Yeah.
I think Laka will come on there.
I do agree with you, but I'd still wait probably another 15 minutes.
What a penalty that was, by the way. Just watching that back, that was...
Oh, here we go then.
World class.
Where's Pepe?
Oh,
That's where you need
that's what
Laka.
you need Laka, yeah, exactly.
Or a big Emil there.
The thing is, there's certain minutes in the game where you really got to be tuned in. You've got to be aware. The first 5 minutes of the game, and then towards the end of the first half, the first 5 minutes of the second half, and then towards the end of the game.
That's what they say the most goals are scored.
Yeah, you've got to be tuned in, and they obviously weren't really tuned in for that.
Okay, so neither of you guys, you included Temps, you make any changes at this point if you're Arsenal? Just shore up for the next, 5, 10?
Just
when
stay
you're
in the
looking to
game.
introduce players?
Stay in the game. The hour mark.
They will create chances still. There'll be chances in this game for them. It's whether you actually take them.
So you don't think it's beyond Arsenal at this point?
3-1.
Yes, it is.
yes.
It's beyond Arsenal because I support Liverpool.
Oh, hello.
Hey, what was that? A few FIFA skill moves out here
It's
today.
like a gazelle, doesn't it? Right, we got any comments then?
I've just had my first Emre out, but obviously social media is a very fickle world. We can quickly move on from that. But yeah, people just wanted to get the tactical changes made, and people.
Oh, hello.
That was lovely.
When Van Alden's sticking it through people's legs, you know you're in Dreamsville.
But Temps, people just looking back to those missed
you?
opportunities. Oh, thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Go on, Endo. Oh,
It's just typical.
What do we reckon if they can weather the storm till?
stay in the game.
I'll do it on FIFA if it's 2-0. If we can get one before 80, then we start getting the long balls lumping in.
No, but there's the FIFA myth, isn't there? The 98-minute goals.
No, I know that one.
Oh, yeah.
Go on.
It's like 45th minute goal and a 90th minute goal where you just go flat.
Oh, right. Scripted.
They should change that to FIFA enthusiast at the bottom now.
Oh, you can put instead.
Is he on? Is he on?
He's got to score, not.
Oh, what a recovery tackle!
See, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Lacazette scores that.
Yeah? What,
He
because he's
gets-
just less hesitant? What?
Gets his shot off very
Break
quickly.
it down
because
for us.
He's
Yeah.
more an instinctive. He's offside.
he's offside.
He was just about off there, wasn't he?
Imagine that would have gone to VAR. Emu, if you could pick 2 of the 3 players to play with in a forward 3 at Liverpool, who you dropping?
Come on.
Firmino would come out.
Firmino come out, you go in.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going in.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He has to. He has to.
What was that?
Supposed to. Oh wow.
Oh, nice.
He's so good with his feet, isn't he, Pepe?
Yeah, he's looked lively on the ball, but
Good for a highlight.
Here we go.
Oh, no. Crumble.
Oh,
a
Leno,
poor
well
pass.
done, Leno.
Leno quick off the mark yet
Really well,
again.
really well done.
Looked like the break was on there. Temps.
Yep.
Still very open. No semblance of shoring up here, like David was suggesting. What's going on?
I said 3-2.
Suggesting that Arsenal do even.
I said 3-2. It's still on. Let's all calm down. I think it can happen.
We originally were 3-1. I think Liverpool will get another and Arsenal will get a consolation goal.
Yeah, that's realistic.
Okay,
But
I'll go with that. I'll roll with that.
I think, David, what you were speaking about off air, we're going to see one of those moments of Arsenal chasing Mo Salah from a corner, Mane using the pace. Looks very open now.
it does, doesn't it?
Oh, but Liverpool again. This is reminiscent. Oh my!
Give it Hendo!
Trent. Oh, that's an effort there.
Good block that.
Got him in my fantasy
Great
team.
block. Absolutely salmoned in front of it. This is very reminiscent of the first half, though, isn't it? Nice intricate build-up play. I think he's taken one to the twig and giggleberries there.
Yeah.
Like, excellent build-up play. It's just this is the first kind of 10,
great
10
names
15
for
minutes
that.
all over again. Well, you know, I don't want to end up apologising for my foul mouth on
There's another one. I don't know
so.
what's the other one that you use?
I'm not sure.
It is usable. I'll have a think.
Socrates, take 5. Anthony Taylor, totally unforgiving there. Get up. Give him 30 seconds, Jesus.
Hamill, the question's still flooding in from on the hashtag the football social. David, people want to know what's your club status at the moment.
I have no club.
Where we looking? Any?
Well, I've answered the question. We'll wait and see. I've had quite a few offers. Obviously, I'm just trying to decide what the next challenge is.
Yeah.
What's best.
Is anywhere abroad kind of tickle your fancy?
I've had quite a few offers from abroad. India, Israel, Australia.
You can seek some advice off this man.
Yeah, played on 2 years.
Would you recommend the sort of twilight years in Australia?
100%.
Yeah.
It was great.
What did
good
you love
football.
about life out there?
There's a lot of travelling though, no?
If you're in Sydney, no, because everything's down, well, more or less down the east coast. It's only Perth that you basically travel every weekend, every other weekend at Perth, because it's 5-hour flight.
Oh, cool.
But most of it's all down the east.
I would love it though, you know. Good day, mate.
It was.
No, it's just I have a thing with accents. I love accents.
No,
It's like even when you watch the MLS, on some nights and you say, oh my God.
Do you have a preference? Because MLS is obviously quite. It feels like it'd be quite desirable if you're a footballer.
Well, my wife likes New York.
What, New York
there we
City,
go.
yeah.
Yeah, she likes
Red
New York.
Bulls.
I think she'd love to move to New York. Red Bulls, New York City.
That's how you go to New York.
If you're looking for a midfielder and a striker, got 2 here on the couch. Emile, come on.
Come out of retirement.
Yeah.
I need 6 months to get
One last job.
I mean, Emil did just refuse a chocolate bar. He's getting back on it, aren't you, mate? So.
Yeah, that's, exactly. I've got to play in Vinny Company's testimonial.
Right, now's a perfect time, and we've got a price boost. Mo Salah heading over from 3 or 4 yards. It's on screen now, so it is correct score. Liverpool 4-0. Now 7-1, obviously. Odds accurate at the time of recording. Subject to change. Go and check out the details on the website. Adam Templeman is leaving.
I'm putting a quid on it, mate.
If that scoreline becomes Arsenal passing it very precariously out from the back there. So yeah, go and check that out. And like it says on screen, bet responsibly. William, have we got any responsible questions?
Yes, we have from Ross Arnold. David, you spoke about your next move for your playing career, but have either of you looked into going into coaching and management?
For me, getting coaching, I did a little bit of Bolton. I enjoyed it, and but it's getting the opportunity to go out there and really do it.
Do you feel those opportunities are there?
Limited, very limited. There's a lot of people coming out of retirement trying to do the same, whether it be media, whether it be coaching and everything. If there is an opportunity there, then yes, I'd have a look at it and do my badges alongside working.
Yeah.
David's lucky because he's already actually done most of it.
I've started it, yeah. I started my B licence last year, so that's all completed. I'm starting my A licence now soon. We spoke about it, that you kind of like footballers in this current day are encouraged to start them whilst they're playing. A lot of footballers, say 10 years ago, were told just concentrate on football and do them after football.
Is that why we're seeing that fast turnaround now, do you think?
Could do, yeah.
Yeah, like Gerrard, Lampard going straight in because they're trying to get them done. But it's like you know, me and Emil joked earlier, it's not about what you know, it's kind of about who you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like Emil's there talking about he fancy coaching or managing. Like, do you know what I mean? I'll be ringing Emil going, Emil, I'm finished. You know what I mean? I've got any matches. Do you know what I mean? Do you need a BBC? Like, I'll grab the balls, bibs and cones here. If I became a manager, Emil would be here, look, come on, I'll go in, I'll coach the strikers for you, and you're like, come on, and then that's kind of like, you need that luck or that opportunity that someone you're close with gives you an opportunity.
Yeah.
Is it almost like getting in that, like, I mean, Steve Bruce is it Stephen Clements everywhere he goes? It's like getting into that sort
I played with Clement Blues.
Yeah, fantastic delivery of the ball, isn't he?
Yeah, lovely left foot. He still joins in training now.
Does he?
Yeah, slightly overweight. But he can still play. But even as you speak about him, I believe he had to retire early at 28.
Oh my God! Talking of retirement, I think that Mo Salah has just retired Guendouzi. Oh my goodness! What a goal! What a solo effort!
I'm so happy they're winning 3-0, but I can't believe I took him on my fantasy team.
He has turned, I think it was Guendouzi, forgive me if I'm wrong, inside out there, put the burners on, and that kind of trademark steer finish into the bottom. Right, that's 7-1 for the 4-0's looking
it's 6
like a pretty fair bet now. We can get clarification off that. I thought it was 7-1, David, but if you've corrected me, then thank you very much for paying more attention than I am. What a finish. We're just getting the replay here. Take us.
Yeah, but he's on a yellow
Luiz.
card and he touches him, he's gone.
It was 7-1, but I was wrong with David Luiz.
So close. Why would you get so close to someone? Look, just he's not close enough at first, and then you just have to back off and allow him to usher him down.
So is that all his fault? Has he been rash there, or does he have to go out and meet Mo Salah before he starts to accelerate?
If you're not close enough to get to him as the ball's coming in, you've got to back off and get help.
Yeah. Well, it's inevitably slow him down.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? As Emil said there, he's off him. He's off him. And he's realised I'm a yard short. He's gone to make up that yard, and Salah's like obviously probably heard him, and he's just spun and he's out of the game. He's gone. You're not going to catch Salah.
No.
And like you rightfully pointed out, he's on a yellow card there, or Salah's eating turf if he's not, quite frankly. Yeah, but what another goal to add to Mo Salah's Liverpool collection. And there's quite a few, isn't there? 3-0. Temps, what do you do now as Unai Emery?
Oh, Arsenal fan TV tonight, Temps.
Give up.
Oh, fantastic. Back to the old days on Arsenal fan TV tonight.
David, Bamba clot, isn't it? Sorry, I'm Irish. we don't speak like that where I come from.
I'm not sure that'll make the best bit. Sorry, David.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah, it will make our best bits anyway. Right, so getting a little bit contentious now in the middle of the park. You are missing someone like Torreira now, aren't you? Danny Ceballos not really as prominent in this game. We know Batiste put up a lot, some good defensive numbers, but
yeah, he's been quite quiet, hasn't he? I think now we've just got to almost set up shop a little bit, try not to let it.
Arsenal,
I love the desperation.
You sound very deflated.
We're not going to come back from this.
12 minutes ago was like, get Lacazette on.
It was 2-0. Yeah, he's going to throw it. Yeah, and that's the right decision.
Torreira.
Is that the right?
Decent trim from Torreira. It took me a little while to clock who he was.
He's gone for the old David Moyler, innit? Brush it down. Short and simple. I know, I've got Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson here flying high.
Wing-back's gone.
Push well on.
Here we go then.
Look, it's the way Liverpool play out. They make it look so easy.
I mean, oh my goodness. 30 seconds after the reset.
He's got one over. He's on for a hat-trick.
Left back.
It's mad, isn't it?
That's the left back having a shot.
It's when I played like Sunday League and you're thinking anyone could have a goal here. Everyone's pushing on.
There's the difference between Sunday League and he's back chasing him to make sure he doesn't get away.
I mean, we talk about Liverpool not being able to sustain this, past the probably 60, 70 minute mark, but I feel like Robertson, he could do another 10k after most games. His natural fitness is obscene. Was there ever one player? Who's the one player in your team?
Oh my God, that's Ceballos.
Gracious. Can't even finish a question without another
There we go.
This is bombardment.
Oh, bombardment. Who's the one player when you were at Hull that just covered all the hard yards? That was just an absolute athlete, an absolute machine.
You, wasn't it, David?
Oh.
I can say that for you.
Yeah, apart from yourself.
No, I backed myself.
Who won the bleep test?
I think I did.
Good man.
Proud of that. But George Boyd, when he came in, he was like a freak. And now, in the current team now, Kevin Stewart, I think he's actually gotten the highest in the yo-yo test, which is
Another version of the bleep test.
It's funny because he runs to like level 22, like 22 and a half, and then the last fellow will drop out, and he suddenly, like, you have the little 5 yards walk or 10 yards walk, and then his top starts to come off. He's one of those fellas. But those two were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are the equivalents in your Leicester and Liverpool side? So?
Liverpool was John Onorisa. There was no one like him. Yeah.
Did it evolve a lot, obviously, from like your early career to later on with the fitness?
Yeah, definitely. And I saw it more so when it got a little bit so back end of Liverpool and people looking after themselves better and the running really serious. John and Paddy Berger were the only ones that really took the run.
Arsenal is sneaking in there. David Luiz could have made up for his costly mistake. Patrick Berger.
Yeah.
God, he had some belters in it.
Yeah. Quite beautiful hair.
What a mane, an absolute lion's mane on him. Well, what about your other clubs then?
Leicester.
Played with some of the older generation when you were breaking through, I guess, didn't you?
Yeah, Stevie Claridge was a good runner. Yeah, he loved it.
He played till he was about 49, didn't he?
Something like that.
Just retired.
Get him on footy manager as a free agent.
He wasn't great in regular training.
Yeah.
When the balls come out, but when the running, he was unbelievable. He's just a mess about. Like, you'd pass him the ball and he'd be like, didn't look like he didn't want to touch it. But then go on a Saturday, he was amazing.
He told me about the Leicester train. A lot of young versus old.
That was offside.
Mo Salah yet again sneaking it. Come on.
Why has he done
Is he offside? He's offside. It's been called back.
Do you know, it's
Did Guendouzi know he was offside?
It's all about the curly hair. It's all about the curly hair.
Yeah, hard to differentiate between Guendouzi and Luiz because Guendouzi's having to play pretty much at centre half at the moment to keep Mo Salah at bay. But here's Lucas Torreira in the middle of the pitch who's just come on. Aubameyang out wide now.
We need Lacazette on.
Well, it's looking a little bit futile for Arsenal in attempts.
Probably with no Lacazette.
It needs to be a straight swap. Aubameyang off for Lacazette or something like that.
There's usually a time during the game that you know a manager's going to make a change. Unless it's like unless there's an injury, usually a time.
It's going to be like 65.
65, 70.
Sarri last season with his
30 seconds.
Who was it? Kovacic for Ross Barkley was the.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, Will, but we've just had our first quiz time from the gantry.
Oh, fantastic!
Right,
full time, isn't it?
What? Sorry, Mo Salah's on for his hat-trick. 6 players have scored a hat-trick in this fixture. Can we name all 6?
Andre Arshavin.
Well, Firmino's one, isn't it? Because he scored a hat-trick last season.
That's 2. Robbie Fowler.
You said Arshavin.
Fowler's only got
Arshavin.
Yeah.
Fowler got 3. He's got the quickest one.
Fowler's got 2 hat-tricks, you're right. Arsenal nearly through there. So we've got Fowler, Firmino.
Just to work, Emile, did you score a hat-trick?
No.
Okay.
Michael Owen?
3 more. Is Michael Owen?
No.
Incorrect, Will.
No.
Get it. Use the hashtag #TheFootballSocial because I'll get the answers and I'll pretend that they're mine.
Yes, I need. We need your answers, like Will said, in the comments below. And if you're not subscribed to Football Daily, please hit that subscribe button right now and go and check out Soccer AM and Euro Football Daily as well. David Miller's also got a channel. And he says he might get back on the old upload schedule. So
yeah, just everyone subscribe to me, lads. I'm like 600,000 off a million, and then I get my gold plaque, and I can just delete my channel. Please.
The end goal is.
You don't have to watch any videos. Just subscribe. I get the gold plaque, and I can finish.
I'll get my kids to subscribe.
Get the gold button in the bag, right?
Mo Salah.
But we've not got the gold medal for this question yet, gentlemen.
This Fowler, you said 6 players.
Yeah, 6 players.
Fowler is 2, so he doesn't count.
6 hat-tricks, 5 players I'm getting.
Okay,
so we're 2 players off.
So you said Fowler, Arshavin.
Bobby Firmino.
Anelka?
No.
Robin Van Persie.
No, don't you be reading answers.
Yeah, you're looking straight.
I've got Crouchy.
Crouchy? Did you say? Yeah, 1. Bang. 1 more.
Do you know who it is? They tell you who it is. Okay. Can you give us a clue?
But you're also screaming at me. 1 more.
I'm going to go back to the older Arsenal team. I reckon it'll be like an Henry or a Wiltord.
Go on, you have to pick one of them then. This is the decisive moment. This is the decisive moment.
At Anfield or?
This is the...
Henry.
Henry. Well done, gentlemen.
I said Wiltord 3 times. I couldn't suddenly go, he's winking.
Oh, come on, mate. Right. There we have it. So if you got them in the comments, congratulations. There's nothing, you know, you're not getting anything for it, but a big pat on the back. Talking of, you know, application, Nicolas Pepe's still going, but that's about the 15 millionth cross that Adrian's collected today, so not looking good for Arsenal.
They're looking very flat, they're looking dejected. They just need to bring someone on just to give them
that. You know what it's like.
Yeah.
I played at Anfield 2 years ago. 2 years ago. We lost 5-1 and we were 2-0 down after 12 minutes or something like that. And then we had a player sent off. I came on as a right back. And it was just like, I remember I was over the far side and the ball got up for throw and the fans were screaming, hurry up, hurry up. And I said, lads, we're 3-0 down. 10 men.
That's the attitude.
I'm not rushing for nobody. And they all started laughing at me.
We had the same. We had the same at Villa. We went down to 10 men, lost 4 or 5. Brad Friedel got sent off.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. Never great replacing your keeper, isn't it? Right. I mean, surely, when you're behind at a place like Anfield as well.
Give it GG.
Surely that's even more punishing.
Yeah, it is. And the thing with Liverpool, they're relentless, aren't they? Look at Van Dijk.
Van Dijk on the overlap. Love that.
Yeah. It's non-stop, and you know, you get some teams. They'll be happy just keeping it, passing it, and moving it around, keeping it off you. They want to score more goals. They want to get 5 and 6.
Yeah, unless Salah gives Firmino and Mane a goal, until they've kind of all 3 have scored, they don't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that
it's
is
like
what...
you're like, and then you look, they bring on like Milner, who'd run all day for you.
Yeah, we go back to medical marvels. Yeah.
Yeah,
like
do you know what I mean? It's
medical marvel, Milner.
I mean, the guy doesn't he win all the bleep tests at Liverpool?
Yeah.
But he's still not got as good a standing jump as KT though, so you know, fair play.
I think he's okay though.
Right. I mean, this is getting extreme hairy. You know, no pun intended. Guendouzi getting fouled there. A little bit of relief for Arsenal. Let's get some comments. Provide some relief attempts in the studio.
Yeah, for one from Jack Crowley. I'm going to slightly adapt it. It's what's your favourite formation to play in? But for you, Emil, did you?
I preferred 2 up front.
You prefer 2 up top?
Yeah, I preferred 2 up front. And the 2 up front where you could actually change it and just leave, when you're defending, you leave one has to drop in to say just a cam.
Yeah.
Central attacking midfielder.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
there you go. So where he drops in there, sits on the holding midfielder and does the defensive work there, but playing up front, because you get a lot of movement and you can create more when you've got 2 up front, overs round the corner, different patterns. And I just preferred that rather than just being that man up front that just holds it up and
then you're waiting for everyone to. Who was your favourite partner?
Obviously Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a great understanding with Michael. Played very young age. I was 18, he was 16. He was playing for my national team age group, and just
blossom from there.
Yeah, something that just clicked straight away. We get each other, we understand how each other plays, and we just get on with it.
Fantastic, David. What about you? Is it a midfield 3 or a 2?
I like a 3. Just basically because if you play like in a 4-3-3, it's like as a midfielder, if you play as the deep lying one, you know where your paths are. You've got your fullbacks, you've got your 2 midfielders, you've got your wide 2. It's kind of like knowing where every player is and where you receive the ball, where somebody should be. That's why if you look at Man City, even at times when they're lopsided, it's also as if they know exactly where players are.
Yeah.
I think that's obviously Guardiola's philosophy. If you look at Barca, Bayern, how fellas they don't have to look, they just can flick around the corner and they know he's there.
Have you worked with managers when they've bought in a philosophy, and if so, how long has that taken to bring into the fold?
I worked with Julia, and we understood that was the formation that we played. We played with 2 up front and 1 behind, and then we had kind of a sitting midfielder, which was Didi, but he wasn't sitting, but he kind of did sit. But we understood the way that, and we used to go on the training field and do pattern of play, if you want to call it. Hold on, let's see. Oh no. And he used to put cones everywhere, not cones, poles everywhere on the pitch, and he'd go to a pole or tell you to run to a pole, and you'd have to adjust your position as that pole is the ball, and you'd have to just adjust your position, and we do that for 20 minutes.
What about you, David?
I've done something similar like that with Marco Silva.
Oh, of course,
He would stand in the middle of the pitch with the ball, and he'd shift across to the right to the ball's here, and then you might be 5 yards and he like sprint back 5 yards and you push up, and it's like, and I've done it with Nigel Atkins in a way where he has like mannequins numbered, and it's like number 4 has the ball, where's the team?
Yeah.
It's quite interesting that we did it where we actually lined out 2 11s in the same formation, and like the two of us might be as the 2 midfielders, and you might run forward, but he might be 5 yards more forward than me, and then he'd question, well, why are you that far ahead of him, or why are you that far behind him? It was kind of like he's trying to like educate you and coach you as you're doing it, which was quite interesting to see how players are playing the same position might just slightly, change their positions.
How was it playing under Marco? Well, we've got the final price boost, guys, before I ask about Marco Silva. It's on screen now. So 5-0. The guys in the gantry just rubbing salt in Temps's wound. 11-1. Odds
Giving him an out.
Odds are accurate at the time of recording and are subject to change. Go and check out the website for more details. Have to be 18 plus, obviously. So Marco Silva, one of the men tasked with breaking into the top 6. How was he to play under? Because a little bit of scepticism when he first came in, wasn't there?
Do you know what? I was fascinated by him when he first came in. I'd never been coached to that level. Should I say? The detail in everything. I know me and Emmy were talking about when he left Leicester and went to Liverpool, how it suddenly went from like when you go from a club like that to like a big club that are competing on all levels in every competition, who want to win every competition, where they're in every day rather than having your Sunday and your Wednesdays off or whatever. Marco tried to take us to the next level, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Obviously, like at Everton now, it's tough. He's obviously made a lot of signings. It takes time for the players to,
bed in,
for foreign players who aren't used to English football, the intensity of it, the speed of it.
David, from there, he's gone. Everton players, if they've been there, they've gone from Big Sam to Marco Silva. How much of a change is that?
That's chalk and cheese. Big Sam is renowned for his style of football. He's been very successful at it.
Yeah.
He's always built his teams wrong that way. Even when he came into Everton, they were struggling. They were down by the bottom half of the table, and he got them up. Marco now is trying to obviously embed his philosophy. It's the second season. Do you know what I mean? Like obviously they had a disappointing result last night, but it's still 3 games in. It's going to take the boy from Juve, Moise Kean.
Yeah,
it's going to take him time to get used to it. Obviously, Iwobi's come from Arsenal, which is a different. Arsenal have obviously been renowned for keeping the ball for, hundreds of passes.
Yeah.
Under Wenger, which he played a lot of his football. So it's going to take him time. It's going to take a lot of them time to,
He's got a left foot.
Decent vision there, picking him out of the back post.
Yeah, I think if he's more confident with his right foot, he can take that open out, take it on his actual right foot and have a shot.
Drill it in.
Yeah.
Fair play. So Marco Silva, fascinated with him because he's an obsessive. Do you think he's kind of got the credentials to break into that top 6? It's pretty firm.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, even when he came to Hull, his record from I think he was with Estoril in Portugal, and then he went to Olympiacos. He had some outrageous record of 70, 80 games unbeaten at home. And then he came to Hull and we were thinking, geez, we're in the Premier League here, the big boys are coming. But we stayed unbeaten at home for a long time. I want to see him do well. Obviously, Seamus Coleman, I spoke to him originally when Marco took over. He asked me about Marco, and at the start, he was saying, I see what you're on about, and now he fully understands what I meant. And do you know what I mean? All the players are buying into it. It's just sometimes you just need probably that one big result to turn your way, to turn form.
Yeah, they got that towards the end of the season, didn't they?
Yeah.
They had a great run at the end, the last 10
exactly.
games.
And then you hit the summer holidays, and you have obviously the internationals will probably have 4 weeks off. The other lads will have 6 to 7 weeks off. But then you're back into it now, which probably killed Everton a bit, so they could keep going.
What a knock!
Oh, Lucas Torreira getting in there with an unorthodox little stabbed effort. Yeah, I mean, they lost Kurt Zouma as well, didn't they? They lost some senior players in Jagielka. Admittedly, he's not going to be involved in kind of the first team. But Zouma was a big one, and they were still shopping around for a centre-half sort of when the market was closing. Do you think that might be costly in terms of them, finishing higher up the table? Being
I don't think so.
Defensively fragile?
I don't think so, because if you look at the thing, they've got England's number 1 in goal. You know what I mean? They've got Ireland's captain right back. They've got a Barcelona left back. Do you know what I mean? They've got Yerry Mina and Michael Keane. Michael Keane obviously plays for England as well. Do you know what I mean? You've got Andre Gomez, Morgan Schneiderlin. You've got Sigurdsson, sorry. Do you know what I mean? The Icelandic boy, like, well, he's kind
So
of
you
like...
think that's enough, yeah? Enough to displace at Chelsea?
I think a lot of those players would get into any other side in the Premier League, bar some of the top 6. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
I think they are good enough.
We're talking of chopping and changing. Oxlade-Chamberlain's just come on. In case you guys missed that.
This is what we're talking about with the minutes. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Just, yeah,
3-0 up, 15 minutes against your ex-club. You know what I mean? Go and knock your goal.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect way to put some minutes on the board. And we've got some questions on the board. Go on, Will.
Yeah, gentlemen, I can't believe it's 77 minutes and we've not had the big debate. As you were two former world-class top-flight players, what is your opinion, your honest opinion, on VAR?
Generally, when things like this... Oh, wow. Feet.
You won't get for wrong Virgil the second time, was he?
Generally, when something like this gets brought in, it's here to stay.
Yeah.
So we've got to accept it. Can they speed the process up? That is my problem. You have not issues, but I heard people talking about. Yeah, you have the euphoria of scoring, and then the next minute we've got to spend the next 2 minutes or 5 minutes or however many minutes looking at VAR, whether it's actually onside or offside or whether it's a goal or not. If you could speed up that process, I don't think people will be too that bothered.
When we had it at the World Cup, it was working fantastic.
Fine. And I generally would be happy if it's just offsides and goal line technology. If it's just that, I'm fine with that. When you're looking at penalties, the other day, was it the Arsenal penalty against Liverpool? I'm not. Me looking back at that, I don't think that was a penalty. And then the handballs as well.
The more subjective things.
Oh, I wasn't. Yeah. I don't want to see all that, to be honest with you. But if you can say the matter of fact, yeah, that one is offside and blah, blah, yeah, I'm happy with that.
It's tough. You know, I'm with you, Emil. You don't want to kill, like, you know, when Jesus scores the winner and, like, he erupts, like, coming on, you know, scoring the winner, and then it's just, like, against Spurs, and then, like, you know, even Aguero had that little argument with Guardiola when Guardiola was pulling him and he thought it was about like the goal they conceded or whatever, and then he runs down, he hugs him, and then it's just like, well, the goal's been disallowed. And I think they need to look at rugby.
Yeah.
How rugby have incorporated, and they get it done quicker. It's nearly as if as the game is flowing, the VAR need to be checking everything at all times. That they can, so that if the referee stops it, it's solved within seconds, that they are already watching it. But they're at such a stage now where it's new, and it's kind of like they're finding their feet with it. It's, as you said, it's taking too long. Like, it's stopping, you're waiting 2 to 3 minutes, because then the buzz is gone from the goal.
Where did you say it was? Where did you say
Stockley
the
Park.
actual... So can't it be at every? Can't they just have a?
What do you mean, embedded him? And, yeah.
A room at every stadium that's there, so they can actually.
Yeah, it's
quicker.
They need it done so that, like, when they went back there with the check, was it Firmino came in from the side or whatever, and he goes down, and you know they're going on about it or whatever, like, and just that somebody's already checking it. He shouldn't have to ask for it to be checked. And there's obviously there was the big thing with Rodri and the penalty claim, but then they were saying that VAR don't want to overrule the referee. It's the referee's final decision.
And they can't show the footage in the stadium unless it's overruled as well, by the by.
I don't think they should show the footage in the stadium anyway.
It's going to anger the fans. Isn't it? It's not going to be good for the game.
You're upset that they've even gone to VAR anyway, and they're taking however many minutes to do it. Then they're going to show it on the screen as well. I know some fans do want, and some fans are calling for it to be shown because they want to know.
Yeah. But it's also the beauty of football is, like, decisions that we get wrong are the talking points.
Yeah.
You know
But do you not want it to be fairer in that sense?
Yeah, but like...
Go right.
We both had it, like, over the years. Every fan has had it, every player's had it, that you've got the rub of the green in a game or two. Do you know what I mean? There's been a chance then when your team it's cost you a goal which could have never be 3 points or a point, which could have kept you up at the end of the season. But it does swing in roads and roundabouts, like. And
there is definite room for improvement, isn't there? And talking of room for improvement, Unai Emery will be hoping that Lacazette can affect this game in some way, shape, or form. You know, maybe just get a goal away from home. He come on for Joe Willock.
Strange one to do now, surely, isn't it?
I would have given him a bit more time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what they're playing 4-3-3 now.
Oh. Sent him for a bag of potatoes.
Potatoes.
So much funnier than
Like that, yeah.
Firmino here.
Stop, drop and roll.
Hello, that was a strong challenge. Contentious.
Yeah, it's going to take that one.
Oh, Bobby.
But you see there now, as like, there's this pause here. He should be saying, like, somebody should know, no penalty. He should know in his ear now.
That's a penalty.
Yeah, that is a
penalty.
Yeah, but you know, what I'm saying is he should, like, somebody should be there straight away. No penalty, penalty. They have to work together. Do you know what I mean? They have to be able to. Like Anthony Taylor there needs to know that whoever's in his ear is giving him the correct information.
You want it to be a little bit more immediate, yeah?
Yeah, like that.
I mean, it's not. They've not even gone back to check it. So
yeah, this is a bit odd, isn't it?
The referee makes that decision, doesn't he?
That's where the inconsistencies come, though, don't they? The referee
That's
can
where
just say no.
That's where they don't want VAR to interfere too much, right?
Yeah.
So
That was a penalty.
I mean, yeah, it is, but we're being critical of VAR here. But it's not VAR. It's the way it's being implemented and used.
Yeah, that's what needs to change, I think.
Yeah.
Five of us aren't going to come up with all the solutions, are we?
Of course not.
But we can bloody well try, Dave.
Yeah, OK.
But the thing is there any ex-players involved in even talking about it, or because you know that you could possibly give a better analysis and a better the game. You know what people are doing. You know their reaction.
That sort of gamesmanship and bringing into it.
So surely, but again, I don't think we would ever be asked on that side of things.
But the thing is, how many ex-footballers would want to be involved in the process?
There's some busy.
Yeah.
Go on, name names.
Do you want me to?
I mean, VAR is certainly not going to help Arsenal out in this game, is it? So let's move away from the VAR conversation. I think we've.
Go on.
No.
One back. Lucas. The amazing impact in the game. There was about four of us who wanted 3-1 before the game had started, and it looks like it might be destined.
I said 4-2. Come
on. Away. So let's just revisit the finish here. Take us through that tiny little goal by Torreira, because it looked like it was over.
Well, it went to Aubameyang. Aubameyang laid it off to Torreira originally. He lost the ball and it just trickled back to him and in the bottom corner.
It's a great bit of skill by Torreira.
He did well to win that back there, actually, because that looked dead and buried.
The way he's looped it there off Joel Matip, was it?
I'm surprised Aubameyang didn't just go for... Nah, I suppose not.
He's hit it at the back of the Hendo.
No, it's Henderson.
Yeah, see, there's two defenders blocking Adrian's view there.
It's a little bit fortunate, but he's got to react to it, and he's adjusted his feet very quickly. Yeah, fair play to Torreira, because it's not really what he's been brought on to do, I guess.
One more before 90.
Come on.
Defensively, and it's actually
get the meal on, and we start getting lit down.
Emil's guess is coming in at the moment, so credit to Emil. Let's have some more questions in then. Mkhitaryan's just come on, by the way.
He's gone off.
Which Mkhitaryan are we going to get in this game? Let's see. Oh, nice to see Lallana come on as well. A few old faces. We've got any old faces in the comments?
Yeah, a couple of old faces, a couple of recurring people in there. One says Arsenal losing heavily today. I mean, they could still get a point. This was before the goal. Big defeat for Chelsea at United. Is this showing a golfing class within the top six? Many people saying there's a clear top two, then there's a four, and then everyone else. Is that what we're seeing now?
Pretty much, yes. You always had your top four or top six or whatever it was, and they were. There was a big difference between them. But City are kind of running away with their philosophy and the squad that they have. Because if you look at they're able to chop and change that team and still have the same output and the same intensity.
Yeah.
So and same amount of goals as well.
No matter who they're playing and what competition.
Yeah. And then Liverpool are pretty much similar, but Liverpool haven't got that strength in depth that City have. Liverpool generally have their top three.
Yeah, Divock Origi's a bit of a...
He's
a useful player, but he's a downgrade, isn't he?
Very well, to be fair to him.
Got some huge goals on the Football Social.
Oh, it's not about liking him, it's about whether he can put the same goal contribution as one of the front three that drop out. And he's a useful little...
How many in the Premier League can?
Yeah. Gabriel... well, we're talking about City here, aren't we, here, an anomaly? Gabriel Jesus could probably still rack up between 15 and 20 Premier League goals.
No, I'd agree with you with that.
Yeah.
But like I'm saying, I think City are a Premier League team with the squad depth. I think Liverpool are very a European team.
Oh, he's gone the wrong way.
Liverpool are
Laka.
ruthless over two legs.
I think they're like a European team.
They're more geared up towards cup competition sort of thing.
I don't know what it is. Like you know, they just seem
That's
to
a good
come like.
interesting observation.
Check in here.
What's he checking?
So
Over
See,
to
look,
Stockley Pass.
I'm on VAR.
Yeah.
That's a favour.
This is when I love it.
Yeah, that's quick.
pretty quick.
Yeah, that's better.
And that's what
Credit's due.
Yeah.
he's listening to you, David. He's listening to you.
So would you still back Liverpool over City in the Champions League, but City over Liverpool in the league?
You said Liverpool over City in the Champions League. And you said Liverpool over City in the Premier League. So you mean City over Liverpool in the Premier League?
City to win the Premier League, Liverpool to win the Champions League.
No.
No?
Liverpool win both.
Liverpool will win both.
Yeah, but you know, it's like as small as it seems. Like Liverpool win today, they're 5 points ahead of City. Do you mean obviously City have the game in hand, but that's psychologically at this, even though it's 3 games in, it's huge compared to like they lost to League by a point last year.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like they're going to have to play, but it can change the mindset of like, you know, City thinking we have to win.
Certainly can't hurt, can it, having this start to the season for sure.
But do you think Spurs can run both the teams close?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I think Spurs are definitely third best in the Premier League at the moment, 100%.
I wouldn't disagree with you, but I don't think they'll run the two of them close.
I think Spurs are a little bit.
Off that bounce. That is a wonderful box.
That was it. That was a free kick.
In the pocket.
Well dealt
Picking him
with.
out.
Go on then, Will. How many questions have we got?
One here from Dino. Different flavour for you. First international break of this season is coming up. But how was it knowing that there was a major tournament at the end of the season? So did you look more favourably on the international breaks? Did you raise your game knowing that there was a Euros or a World Cup coming up?
You should, for your national team, you should be playing all out, regardless.
Yeah.
Because one thing you got to remember is it's the elite, it's the top of the top. So someone's there, always there, waiting to take your spot. So you've got to be ready.
You had a few different World Cups under different managers. 2002 under Sven. How was that in comparison with that 2010 campaign with Capello?
Different era.
Yeah.
I was a young lad then, and then senior. More of
An
a
elder
senior,
statesman.
yes, pro. When I went to 2010, but yeah, it was the both great World Cups, as in well run, and the 2002 one, I thought we were ready to go all the way. Very disappointed we didn't, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, with Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, and Rivaldo in it.
Lovely ball.
Is that the most ridiculous starting 11 you've come up against?
Yeah, it was actually. And they had Ronaldinho sent off, but still managed to beat us. So.
Even in that game, though, obviously Michael Owen's goal.
Yeah.
Was it the 2010 tournament where you came back in for sort of the last 2 qualifiers, or was that another tournament?
Nah, it was that one, but yeah. But it was before. It was 2008.
2000.
But we never qualified. Yeah.
What about yourself, David? Obviously for Ireland, was that a really enjoyable time? Obviously you mentioned captain them earlier.
Yeah, no, Emil hit the nail on the head. Playing for your country is the greatest honour. Nothing comes close. Obviously I can understand if you were like born in Liverpool, you grew up supporting Liverpool, playing for your club might mean as much to you, but playing for your country, you're getting the opportunity to represent your country. That's all I ever dreamt of, was playing for Ireland.
For Ireland, we had Clinton Morrison on the panel ages ago, and he talked about, because obviously he was talking about the 2002 campaign, and he was saying about Roy Keane speaking about, and some of the players here weren't even born in Ireland, and he was sat there kind of sheepishly while he was still picking up his caps. But did that ever factor into like your thinking when you were playing with the team?
It depends on the person.
Thank you, David.
Because we're a pro country.
Yeah.
We're passionate about Ireland. If you come, like John Walters, prime example, came and played for Ireland, bought into it, loved it, cherished it, he felt Irish.
Yeah.
Certain other people don't. And if you're not on that, if you're not in that with us, then, do you know what I mean? It's hard because you don't feel the same. You don't feel the same what it means to me. Do you mean, like, playing for Ireland is everything?
The pinnacle.
So when you saw Declan Rice go the other way, were you just happy to kind of wash your hands of that situation? Like, there's one guy that isn't buying into it, and good luck to him over at England, or did it hurt?
It's tough, right? Because I know Declan quite well.
Okay.
Like we've the same age and whatever, so I've known Declan a long time. Declan's played for Ireland since he was under 15, like 16, 17, 19, 21. He played, I think it was 3 friendlies. I'd love to know deep down, because it's not me that's made the decision, it's him. But like yes, he would be a loss for Irish football because he's a very good player, but his heart wasn't in it, so good luck to him. Like we all got the vibe, like the players got the vibe that he was going anyway, because it wouldn't have taken him a full season to make a decision, you know. I think we were all hopeful that he would stay. But when it was announced, I pretty much more or less knew 9 months ago that he was going to England. He was just waiting for that, call up, like.
So you guys as players less shocked than the public then, yeah? Yeah,
because we kind of knew it was going to happen. I think the fans were a bit more hopeful that he might stay. But look, I spoke to him after, said, good luck. If that's what you want to do, good luck to you. I'm not going to hold any grudges against him. Like, if he wanted to play for Ireland, he would have played for Ireland. If he wanted to play for England.
David Luiz is stepping up for this one. Go on. Rubbish.
Well, fascinating question. Rubbish. Fascinating insight. Fascinating effort there from David Luiz. He's tried to do the old side foot free kick and it's gone. It's come down with snow on it. Will, we got any other questions?
Yeah, gents, as the match is wrapping up now, who's been your man of the match for today?
Good.
Salah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a striker, you've got to give it to Salah.
Yeah.
He's got the 2 goals. If you'd scored 2, you'd be thinking...
Yeah, 100%.
Champagne.
You'd be waving at the family in the box going...
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Were you just trying to give off the impression there you were mulling over all the options before you were like, yeah.
I asked you a question, though, right? Usually, like, when you play at home, the stadium announcer always goes, on today's man of the match. Have you ever just, like,
But why you were playing? Like, is it me?
Well, you kind of know, don't you?
I didn't know. You're a striker. Do you know, if you scored 2, you're just kind of like, and today's man of the match sponsored by... Is Emil Heskey, you're thinking, turn to the centre half and go, cheers, man.
Well, there we have it, a full-time whistle.
You know what, here, we said 3-1 all at the start, didn't we? Obviously, then it was 4 of us said 3-1, so we changed.
Got some scenes at the final whistles here. Jurgen Klopp looking very content with his team's performance, and he'll be content with that man's goal return. Emil Heskey calling the score right. Mo Salah just running things from the wing. It's sort of him and Pepe's game, contrasted quite strongly. There's a lot of industry of Pepe, wasn't there? And a similar sort of like trying to get his team going, but all the decisive end product coming from the Egyptian.
He had a spell, didn't he? He had a spell where he had 2 to 3 good chances there. Yeah. 1/2 chance.
Bit of a silver lining there for Arsenal fans that looks like he's kind of
a young lad as well. He's a young lad as well, and when you're young, you've got all this enthusiasm, but at times where you get to that final third, you've got to slow it down.
Yeah.
And be that composed finisher like what Salah did, because you see that one when he's ran through, and he shot right at the goalkeeper. If he's a bit more composed there, hitting corners like Salah.
Yeah. It's his first start for Arsenal and his first big game for Arsenal against the smaller teams in the league. I think he is going to bang goals.
Proper tall order coming up against Robertson as well.
Yeah, it's a hard game.
Relentless fullback. And it must have been not a nightmare debut, but certainly not someone you want to face.
We dribbled past Van Dijk, so that's a major positive.
That'll be what Arsenal Twitter holds on to at the end of this game.
I'll take that. That's a win.
We got any questions to round us off? Brilliant.
Yes, obviously Arsenal coming back into it at the end. Temps, is that something that you can hold a bit of solace in?
Yeah, I think we're still going to have a good season. Away from home against Liverpool is always a tough place to go for any team, especially Arsenal. We've got an awful record there. But I'm still positive about the season. I think we're still going to have a good season.
That first 20 minutes, David, I'm not saying Liverpool looked vulnerable, but there was quite a few chances. Obviously, Norwich went there and not opened them up, but again, they created a few. Yeah. Is that something for teams to maybe...
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see if, Pepe had scored.
Yeah.
Like, if Aubameyang had scored, it's a different game. Like, as we said, Liverpool were piling the pressure on. We said we fancied Arsenal to probably, break on the counter-attack. As Emil said, that Pepe chance, you've got to take it. At this level, you've got to score. And as you said, with Salah, do you know what I mean? A proven goal scorer, hungry goal scorer. That's all that's what he's done over the last 2 years. He scores 2 today. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Pepe, the game could be totally different.
Yeah, absolutely.
OK, let's see how this has impacted the table then, guys. once we move on from Jurgen Klopp. OK, so Liverpool are top, sitting pretty on 9 points with a +6 goal difference. Mightily impressive. Arsenal second on 6 points. Like we said, best start you've had in 10 years. I'm sure that's not the case after this 90. And Leicester and Man City making up the rest of the top 4. Bottom half of the table, pretty much business as usual. We went over this earlier, didn't we? But I want to get from you guys, particularly David and Emil, who you think is probably in contention to go down at this point. It's a tough question. Emil, did you have a 3 at the start of the season?
I didn't look at. I know a lot of people were looking at Newcastle. I'm guessing it was generally because Rafa left, and there's all this turmoil, getting players in, getting them to understand different philosophy.
Okay. So let's go for surprise packages then. So Newcastle, you think?
Yeah, I was looking at that as well. But with Brucey in there, as long as they feed into what he wants, I think they'll scrape. They'll be okay.
Yeah.
But
of course, he's led Sunderland to as high as 10th before. So.
But as well, you know, the longer you go without a win, mentally is not great for players. It's horrible.
Even as I was saying that, Rafa didn't win till November last season. Do you know, and obviously he'd earned his stripes up there, so they gave him enough time. The fans did whatever. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? They're a passionate bunch up there. But regardless of what you think, Steve Bruce is the manager of Newcastle. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And Newcastle is what they like. It's the football is what they love up there. Just buy into it. Go and support your team. Like a couple of years ago when Newcastle won the championship, they're still getting 50,000 fans.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's unheard of. So like when you say pick 3.
Maybe just your surprise package then, because personally speaking, I was ignorant to Sheffield, ignorant to Norwich coming up, and never acclimatised to Premier League life really well. And you do think, as a result, someone like Newcastle, I mean, I would have said Palace before today, might have kind of been sucked into that battle.
Watford,
so Watford potentially, yeah.
I think it's 3 games. I know like people will throw a punt at it. I think it's very hard. You kind of need 10 games. And then you're looking at like Christmas time, then you can see where the gaps do start to massively. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? There will be the team who is chasing at Christmas, who was down there. Like you're looking at, they'll probably by the end of Christmas, you'll probably played like 16 to 18 games. And then they're saying, oh, we need to get to 40 points. We need like 5 wins. But then hold on a second, you've already played 18 games and you've got 2 wins. Yeah. Now you're thinking you're going to get 5. You know, it's not going to happen.
It's really nice to see the quality improve though from the Championship clubs, isn't it? It's going to be more competitive at the bottom.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's even so much the standard. It's the team sticking with their philosophy going up. Like I think Fulham last year spent what they did, changed the whole team, and we saw the output of that. They're playing Championship football again. Norwich have won the Championship, which in terms of quality is getting better and better, and they've stuck with it and they've carried on.
You look at Fulham now. Have come down from the Premier League, but they've kept the core of the team that played last year. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Scott Parker was involved, and now he's taken over as manager, and like he's kept them going at the exact same like way they were going, and now like they're flying in the Championship.
Nice. Okay, let's get one more Twitter question then before we wrap things up. Will?
Yes, Chris. Adam Buckers has been an absolute fine. He gets the final question at the Football Social, saying, "What are your predictions for tomorrow's game?" And that final top 6 prediction, if we can get it off both of you. So obviously, Man City facing Bournemouth, Tottenham, Newcastle in terms of the title race, and Wolves, Burnley.
Tottenham, Newcastle. Tottenham look an exciting team.
Yeah,
they do, and they generally are. The beginning part of the season, towards the end, they kind of tail off a little bit.
Yeah.
But
that was the case last season, wasn't it? Wow.
Well, a couple of seasons now, isn't it?
Yes, get a little Tottenham dig in.
You know, But no, Tottenham do look good. They do look frightening. And going forward, when you're looking at Tottenham, you're still putting them in that bracket with your Man Cities and your Liverpools. You still got them players that you look at Harry Kane as a number 9. Which other team has a typical number 9 like him? I don't think there's many.
What, like Lewandowski at Bayern Munich?
Then you're going into other leagues. Yeah, you're going into other leagues.
There's not many.
Probably, he's an outright goal scorer. You're going back to your Alan Shearer, your Heskys, exactly. Like, you know, I mean, those types of because Liverpool's goals come from, like Aguero, you could probably put him in that.
Aguero, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But like even Liverpool's the two wingers who are scoring all their goals.
Yeah.
Firmino is not an outright striker.
Goal scorer as well. He's not going to be your typical goal scorer of Firmino. He isn't. But Kane wants to score goals, wants to get his head on the ball, wants to be inside the box. Whenever he gets he just wants to shift it and have a shot. And he will, if he carries on, you'll be looking at him possibly breaking Shearer's record.
Mighty impressive, wasn't it? 260.
There's not going to be many going to get close to that, mate. Jeez.
No, but like you even look at Rooney. Like what did Rooney finish up on 200 and obviously unless Wayne comes back and plays in the Premier League, but he's out 200. Like, but to get to 260.
So yeah.
Like you're talking about 26 goals for 10 seasons.
Absolutely freakish. Yeah. So let's have the predictions for tomorrow then. I mean, Harry Kane, is he going to pick the opposition apart? What are you saying?
Spurs are at home.
Yep.
Man City are away.
Yep. I'll put my cards on the table. I've triple captained Harry Kane for tomorrow in my fantasy football.
Yeah, I think.
We'll start down this end of the table then. Give us a few scorelines, William.
4-0 Spurs. 3-1.
Kane 4.
Kane 4, yeah, before half time. And City 3-1.
Okay.
Yeah, 3-0, 3-1 Spurs. I believe Newcastle will get one. City. The thing with City, it could be anything.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Do you look at it like? Was it last season Sterling scored that one in the last minute?
Yeah.
And then the year before, they tore them apart. They'd like beat them like 6-1 or something like that, or 6-0. Bournemouth's like, it's a tight little ground. Like, obviously, Bournemouth will be organised. Eddie Howe's very good at all that. It's just, can they unlock the door?
That is the problem.
Do you know what I mean? Obviously, De Bruyne now is like, we saw him last week, he's flying. Obviously, he had a bad time last year with injuries, but he seems to be like picked up from where he was 2 years ago. So I'd fancy City to win 2-0.
But the thing is, if I said 5-0, no one would batter an eyelid when it comes to City.
Yeah, that's another. I see what you mean. Yeah, there's that range of results that every scenario is feasible. I can see Bournemouth scoring more so than Newcastle. I've got to say, I think Bournemouth might sneak one against City, but I agree with you guys very much so. I won't give a specific score. What about you?
I'm going 2-0 Spurs and then 3-1 to City. VAR to disallow one goal.
Just get the odds on that. Let me get price boost on that.
Just throw in VAR
We need some VAR bets. I think that's the thing, yeah. Goals to be disallowed.
That's the next thing,
Obscure request a bet.
Yeah,
what about you, David, on the end then? So just to round off the predictions.
I think Spurs will
batter them.
Yeah.
Is that home? Isn't it?
Spurs are at home, and City
they
away.
will,
I think Spurs at home are very good.
Norwich battered Newcastle last week, and Norwich are great, but Spurs are quite a lot
Great.
better.
But Emile was talking there, and I'd like to ask you, Emile, what do Spurs need to get to like the City-Liverpool stage? Like that is the thing. Which players would you replace?
I mean, they got them, didn't they? This year, like Ndombele and Lascelles. So they're not necessarily going to take them to that level, but they've still spent that money. They've still got in two great players, and they're still some way off the level. It's just frightening, isn't it? Like Man City
the level of Man City is above. You would say it's above a lot of. It's above everyone, to be honest. But when you look at the Man City, I look at Liverpool and their goals come from the front three. When I look at Man City, the goals come from everywhere. They take out one player, they put another one, and he could get you 15.
Yeah, it's like Sané plays or Mahrez plays.
Mahrez, look, he doesn't even play Mahrez. But, in the season he won with the league with Leicester. Phenomenal. But then he goes and doesn't really play, but then he comes in and he can still score you 2 to 3 goals.
I bet he plays him just enough to keep him happy, doesn't he? That's the genius of Pep, I suppose.
Isn't it? That's the man management of Pep, you're saying. Because Emile will tell you, like, footballers have egos.
Yeah,
like, none of them want to sit on the bench. Yes, you're talking about they earn excessive amounts of money, but that doesn't make you happy.
Yeah.
That those boys still want to be playing week in, week out. But he manages somehow. Now, he does have a very good rotation system where boys do come in and out. But Sterling will always play.
Yeah.
Like, Kevin De Bruyne will always play.
Bernardo Silva will always
play. He left him out last week.
What a player to welcome back into the fold, by the way, after only 900 minutes last season, Kevin De Bruyne. Been a fascinating start to the Premier League season. We, of course, are back next week. Let's just get a little look at that now. So it is Arsenal versus Tottenham. It's a little thing known as the North London Derby. 4 PM, Adam Templeman.
I'll be back for that one.
He's joining us yet again. Might be a little bit more vocal, you know, because I'm back in Arsenal for that. Anyway,
Yeah, me too.
thank you to everyone for coming on, of course. Will in Social Corner, killing it once again. Emil, no doubt we'll see you again across the course of the season. David, making his Football Social debut. Some fascinating insight, mate. Thank you very much. Less so to you, Tim. It's got to be said, mate.
Yeah, it's been all right now.
All right, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.